Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Without Jose. Here he is.
I'm here.
He almost left to NVIDIA. Almost left to NVIDIA. We're back. We're back before AMD reports earnings in about, I think, 45 minutes or so. Yeah,
That's exactly what we're doing, right? We're gonna look at the reports. There's gonna be some other earnings that come out before earnings calls. We'll look at some earnings reports, and then around 5 o'clock, when the call opens up, we're gonna jump into AMD's live call and hopefully some commentary from us at the end.
correct. So we'll have like a 45 minutes until the call starts, gives us time to go over the AMD report, gives us time to look at SMCI, for example, Open Door real quick, Zeta reports here as well later today. So it's going to be quite interesting, but we are going to cover the AMD earnings call and then give some commentary at the end. Apparently, the implied earnings volatility is 7.4% for AMD. Okay, interesting. I mean, that's right after. So I guess tomorrow we could have a bigger hit, depending on what what direction we're going in. Of course.
And again, shout out to everybody. Hello again. Good afternoon to Josh. Hello to everybody joining us, and hopefully we have a good afternoon's call today.
Yeah, we have a lot of Zeta people in the chat. I will go over Zeta.
Did you talk about this one recently, Neil? Or
yeah, it was one of those where I talked about it and suddenly it pumped, and so I became the pump lord. But it's been performing okay. Actually, it's been performing okay. Why is Intel outperforming today? I don't know. We'll have a look actually at the market right now. A bit mixed, I'd say. Let's see. HIMS is back to being down 11%. So we left our live stream. It was down 11%. I made my video. At the start of the video, the stock was down 8%. At the end of the video, stock was only down 1%. And at one point, it was actually green during the day. And now we're back down for HIMS. As for the rest here, AMD is down going into the report. Okay, I like it better than when it pumps up. Oklo is up, Palantir up, Applied Digital is up 5%. That's way more than what we left it at this morning. Uber is up 2.5. We have Nebius that's up. So, oh, Intel, yeah, Intel is up 3.7%.
Destroying the market. I don't know if you saw, there were some news that maybe and shout out to Lisa and everybody else, but obviously shout out to Lisa, not Lisa Sue, but definitely
Our Lisa.
appreciate Lisa. Yeah. Um, I think with Intel, there were some rumors going around that the U.S. government is trying to persuade TSMC to invest in Intel. So we've heard about those rumors in the past. It seems like they are
Again,
yeah, it seems like they're resurfacing again. So it's creating a nice amount of momentum on Intel at the moment.
I just don't see. I don't see it happening. To be honest, I just again we talked about it before. The only way this happens is a strategic investment, not a full takeover. But
Yeah, the way the article made it seem, it was again kind of like that 49, so you don't have complete majority ownership. But interesting. I wonder if that's the thing. It could also just be. I mean, everything else in the semiconductors market is down. So I would say that's the only thing I've heard of so far.
according to David here, Novo has filed lawsuits against compounded semaglutide. Has that? Because I know they wanted to do something. Let's see. If we can find something that is new, I guess. Because I don't see anything from today, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I thought there were some comments. I don't follow this market, but there was like something. I don't know if it was an actual lawsuit, but it was like Nova was gonna go and
I
um,
I see. They expanded the legal action to
yeah.
U.S. patients from unsafe, non-FDA approved compounded semaglutide. So this was already something that they were doing, and now they're just expanding, which is basically what they said last week when they announced the new CEO plus further action guidance as well here. So you might not like this as a HIMS investor, but as a Novo Nordisk one, I guess this is what you want to see. You want to see them protect their IP, which is something that they should have done. They should have done earlier, for sure.
Um, Neil, I don't know if you saw that there was OpenAI came out with their open source model today. I'm still waiting for my GPT-5, and there's also rumors that maybe Gemini 3 might be coming out soon as well. So pretty exciting for the AI space. Now we have a question here. Hi, Jose. What does day zero support for OpenAI's latest model, open model, mean for AMD? I don't think we should. The only thing it means is AMD's solutions now are becoming viable right off the bat, which just indicates that they are moving in great progression of software development. So it's just showcasing that their software team is working with companies like OpenAI, and we've seen that partnership with OpenAI before. To hey, look, when we're going to release a new model, your solutions are going to be also optimized for it. This is again, I wouldn't read this as something that should jump the stock price, but it just gives you that bullish sentiment that their software ecosystem is improving, at least with their partners over time. So bullish long term, but not something that should move the stock price right now. Yeah, I saw that one.
This
I
is a
just think the
funny one.
direction is different.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't see this happening, and even if it
Yeah,
does, I don't think it's
I
going to impact the market at all. But the top one, I do see happen.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
top one, I
I
do
think
see.
that's what's happening. I think these two are waiting to see who's gonna play, who's gonna release first, and then the other one's just gonna announce it after.
Yeah, because I did see Google DeepMind come out with something today or yesterday with their video generator. It's pretty amazing, pretty amazing.
Who did, Neil?
DeepMind, so Google. I'll try and find it. But in the meantime, apparently here, Dookie Pie Love you, Neil. Thanks for last night. This doesn't sound. This doesn't sound right.
Neil's getting paid for after night services. It seems.
Yeah, this doesn't sound right,
two
and I'm not.
dollars. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not doing it
I
for
don't know.
$2. That's too cheap.
Oh man,
Uh,
that's too funny.
that's a good question. I think for both of us, what price would we buy back? I mean, buy into AMD if it drops. I mean, if we uh, let me pull up. What did I say? It has to drop 20% for it to reach like a 50-day moving average, I think.
Yeah, that was like 140.
Let's see. So 7% brings you to the 20-day one.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the 145, that's 17%. And then all the way to 200, that's 26% drop. What price? I think in the low 140s, I'd probably already start adding a little bit.
I would say 140s, small DCA, anything below the 120s, heavy DCA for me. Um,
Yeah, oh, for
uh,
sure.
yeah, so 140s, I would definitely kind of start to nibble a little bit more and just increase that exposure. But it's not like I don't think at 140s I would go out and sell other companies, other
Mhm.
other stocks to buy. It would be more like, hey, I got new money coming in. I wouldn't mind dollar cost averaging a little bit more into AMD.
Correct. Correct. It's a bit what I did with Nebius not so long ago. But this chart is quite crazy for them. So right here, Nebius 44.45. I started buying a bit more, hoping it would drop under 40. Never happened, and then it went back up. But for AMD, same strategy. Actually, it's if we do go to 145, I'll start DCAing, and then we'll see if we go lower. Then we go lower. 120 for sure. Heavy buyer there. Of course, unless everything we hear from the earnings call is a disaster and nothing goes their way, then no. But I don't think that will be the case.
Yeah, if it is a disaster, it's more like a short-term disaster. I don't think, and disaster being like they don't give us that guidance expectations, and they provide like a lot of uncertainties due to I don't know what's happening all over the world. But
I mean, the
oh,
implied volatility means that if we go down 7.5%, it's just at that 20-day moving average. If we go up 7 points, let's do 7.5, we go to $190, which is, the top right here, July 24. So which way, market, which way will we go? We will find out pretty soon. We will find out pretty soon.
I don't
Dude,
know if
this
this
is
is
headed
Al
for,
Gore or AI Gore, but dude, this is
yeah.
headed one of those.
It's headed for 200. I mean, eventually it will. Question is it
Yeah,
tomorrow or not? Is it
yeah.
tomorrow or not? It is overbought. That's one thing for sure. It is overbought right now. The stock expected, 7.5 implied
Mhm.
volatility for now. Um, Going back to Google before they come and catch me again, like every
Stop
day.
pumping stocks. That's what you get for pumping stocks, Neil.
Yeah, but they never catch me. They never catch me. Today would be the day you remember that you almost caught Couch Investor. So this was basically it. What if you could not only watch a generated video but explore it too? So Genie 3 is their
Mhm.
groundbreaking world model that creates interactive, playable environments from a single text prompt. So this, no, nope, I'm not getting demonetized here again. So this
Not
is
this
basically
earnings.
it's very very cool.
Let me play the music. Do, 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 do. Boom, 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 boom.
I don't need it to rain either.
But that I mean that's pretty crazy to be able to kind of play it out. Um,
Like you put in the prompt, it generates the video, and you can move inside of it. It's insane.
yeah, that is wild. And then I don't know because we don't have sound, but if it has sound with it, I don't know if it does, that's still even crazier as well.
I mean, it would make
Eventually, yeah,
yeah, because VO3 has sound, so why wouldn't
yeah,
this have sound? I mean,
yeah.
let's
World memory. That's crazy.
World
The
memory.
amount.
That's why environments like this one stay consistent.
I don't know if the background music is too much, but
Yeah,
it's
making a paint simulation game with codes. Wow.
yeah. I mean, well, this is. I mean, this
I
is
wonder if he looks back. Yep, that's what I was gonna wonder. If
yeah,
he
because
looked back, if it was gonna be painted.
world memory. What is this? A man in the chicken. Ah, wow! You changed. Yeah, that's crazy. You change thing
Yeah.
as you go, as you walk. Yeah, no, pretty insane. All of that is Google. All of that is
Yeah.
Google, which is
A failed AI stock. Well, not recently. Recently, it's been like you're an okay AI stock for now.
which is up or down today. Is down today, of course, of course.
Doogie has another.
Yeah, another tooth lining us up for next week.
Yeah, you
I
got
mean,
some weird followers.
I mean, if everyone starts donating $2, it would make sense. It would make sense. Then I'd say, you know what? Okay, maybe this is my pivot. This is my pivot. But Google, yeah, I mean, we're still in the 190s, so
Hmm.
I'm not complaining.
Oh,
But this one could be easily above 200.
yeah. Mr. P, do you know how Trump's announced tariffs on semiconductors for next week are going to affect AMD and Nvidia? Mr. P, I think we're obviously going to have to wait. I think we talked about it a little bit in the morning show. I believe it's going to impact more kind of like consumer semiconductor products. I don't think it's going to be too impactful for like the AI semiconductor stuff or semiconductor equipment in general. But we're going to have to listen to it and see. But I think the market is at least expecting maybe a little bit of headwinds in this.
Yes, for those that don't know, he is joking. He's being sarcastic with Google being a dead AI, a failed AI stock. We are very
Oh yeah,
bullish,
yeah,
maybe a
sarcastic.
bit
100,
too
yeah,
too bullish on Google, maybe a bit too bullish.
yeah, definitely joking.
Open is
Um,
up. It was down, it was up, it was down, but now we're up. We're up again. Zeta today is up close to 2%. Who else is reporting? Arista is down today 1.6%, and then ALAP is also down 1.8.
that was
1.8.
pretty extended. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean it's not overbought. Actually, it just went up
Hmm.
quite rapidly more recently. But yeah, actually, what did happen here over the last month and a half? Month.
Just excitement with AI accelerators, I guess.
Hmm.
Neil, I know you own both. Ryan Walker wants to know: should they buy Google or Amazon or neither? How about or both? But
Yeah, both. No, but both is definitely the answer.
what is valuation on Amazon right now? I feel like last time I saw it was a lot cheaper than I thought it would be. I feel like Amazon always tends to trade higher than the rest, but it seems, if I recall correctly, and again we'll probably pull up charts in a bit, um, but it does seem like its valuations weren't as crazy as I. No, that's insane. Valuation next 12 months, PE ratio of 31. That's actually pretty wild, Neil. I think that's pretty intense.
Yeah, price to
Pretty
free
cheap
cash flow
compared to normals.
is one that is fluctuating a bit much right now, because again, as we've seen the last quarter, this is a company that still, even at this size, um, just wants to continue to grow.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
take everything they make and put it in the business, and so it could appear very expensive, but I don't know when they will slow down capex. Whenever they feel they're ready to slow it down, you will see how profitable how profitable this business is. It's still expected to grow. I mean, for this size, revenue-wise, $670 billion, growing still double digits, low, 10.3%, is still crazy.
Neil, any way you can just pull up, go to financials, yeah, ratios, and no, sorry, not ratio. Is it ratios?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
am I
think
looking
this one, or maybe EBIT. I mean, both of them are. You will see, are very, very low. Even if we go back to 2005, for example, let's load it up if we can get it. Let's put this. Maybe one has, the other not. That's good enough. Which one did I say? EV to EBITDA, for example, 17 times. Average is 28 over the last 10 years or so. Was a little bit lower back in April, but not by much. Still cheap. I mean, cheaper today than before. EV to EBIT, or maybe actually EV to operating cash flow here as well, compared to where we were before. You're now at 19 times.
Nice. How about forward PE ratio? Just curious.
Forward PE.
I feel like
Yeah, we have that period here where
yeah,
PE disappears. It's usually the problem when any company has
that's true.
a period like this, then it screws everything up. But yeah, even if I go here, we're not really going to get. It was always expensive. Okay, it was always expensive because they didn't
But
really
31,
care
yeah.
about the profitability metrics and all of that for the business. But let's see. Forward.
And then someone's asking, is Fiscal.ai worth getting? I mean, I think so. I mean, I think we only usually partner with selected companies, and Fiscal.ai is one we chose to partner. And even if I wasn't, either of us were partners, would be using this. I use this platform on a daily basis. Regardless.
I mean, I used it before they contacted me, which made this partnership even easier. So yeah, I mean, you can try it out without paying.
If you use our code here, or the link down below, you get 2 weeks for free. You don't even have to put a credit card in, and you still get those 2 weeks free. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and for if anyone here is a professional investor and whatnot, there is no enterprise option, which is quite impressive. Quite impressive, but of course, it's only useful if you actually use it on a professional basis. Just to look up one stock in a month, I don't think that's the case, but this is pretty cool, right? When you now can look exactly where they're getting their numbers, look exactly at the reports without having to go and search for a specific report in their investor relations website. Just go here to this little search toggle and poof, you get all of the figures. So pretty neat. Always gets updated. So
yeah,
we're happy.
Question here, Neil. Open earnings report, same hour as AMD?
Yeah. After hour. So
yeah, usually they're all somewhere between 4 to 4:15. You kind of get the reports, I think, or 4:20. I think AMD is closer to, I forget if it's 4:15 or 4:20. We get AMD. I'm not sure about the actual time, but it's going to be somewhere around there.
Yeah, most companies either report right after the close or 15 minutes, 25 minutes. I think NVIDIA takes a while, no? I think NVIDIA is like 20 minutes or so after the close when they report. But then again, so many companies report after a close that we will have something to talk about. Anyways, are you bullish on AMD?
I'm bullish on AMD long term. Short term, in all my stocks in general. Neil, this is something that I don't know if I've drilled into my head. Short term, I'm always bearish just because it prepares me for any negative news. Long term, obviously, my positions I'm extremely bullish, and I believe AMD is definitely a multi bagger as a long term investor, but it's not going to be an easy ride for sure.
I think easier today than let's say a year ago.
Yeah,
Because a year ago it
yeah,
was the next Nvidia at
mhm.
$220 without the business backing it up at all. Then we crashed. We all the way to seven. It's quite crazy that we were at $76, $77 or
Yeah.
so in April, and now we're at 175, which is where we were in October 2024. So the company today is better than in October 2024.
Neil Philip wants you to say it.
Today is my lucky day. Please say it.
All right.
Today is your
We
lucky day.
Today is your lucky day, Philip. We have someone nervous. AMD has been sluggish all day, but ripping for the past month or two.
Yeah, I rather see this than ripping the day of the report.
Yeah. I'm tricky. Appreciate the support. Hopefully, we can provide some answers here and there.
All eyes is on guidance, I'd say, which of course includes that. I do hope we get guidance. I really hope we do get some.
Yeah.
Let's see. Market is, I think, about to close. 3 minutes times. 2 minutes. Let's see. SoFi. What is SoFi doing today? Down a little bit, not by much. One is for you guys. Jose has no interest in fintech.
Not at all.
I like it. I like it here. I bought it when there was that overreaction, so bought it at $20 and something. So even here, averaging up, I'm still fine because it was an excellent quarter. I do wonder, because yesterday we asked this question: who the heck was buying Palantir at 160? Today I'm asking who's buying at 170. But apparently people are. Again, an insane quarter. But I will also say it's a quarter that, I mean, this is the type of quarter that they have to deliver in order for the stock to semi make sense. I'd say I'm not saying it makes sense to be trading at $173, but the quarter that they delivered is probably why it is so expensive. It's because they can accelerate growth while also having margins expand by so much, which you don't see that many companies do. Um, but yeah,
and someone was wondering where are AMD chips built. Yes, most of them are probably built in Taiwan. But Lisa has mentioned that they are building some chips in Arizona, but a majority of them are TSM Taiwan facilities.
yeah, and they did
Most
also say that
TSMC
it's going to
USA.
be more expensive, made in the United States, but they said it's worth it. So
Yeah.
and Vitas, what did they do today? More
Did they pull
buyers.
up?
Yeah,
They have some buyers.
down only 16% now.
Ah.
Was down 20 plus. 20 plus. Palantir has but again, with this
Market closed. Boom,
market
boom, ding, ding. Ching,
ding
ching,
ding.
ching.
Ching ching would be a better one. Ching ching would be a better one.
All right, well, you pull that up, Neil. I just got to check something real quick, so I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll come back to the PE stuff in a bit. So, market is closed. Nvidia down, let's say 1%, Microsoft 1.4, Meta 1.6, Palantir up 7.8, Netflix down 2%, Amazon up 1%, whose AMD closed down 1.38%. As for the rest here, Tesla flat. It's always confusing why Tesla sits here and not with the tech guys, but it's okay. Salesforce still can't catch a break. CrowdStrike is down 2.9%. Salesforce is quite something at these prices, I have to admit. Arista Network 1.8. So yeah, okay, mixed bag. I'd say what did the where is the that's the overall market, what did that do? The 10-year is coming down slowly but surely. If we look at, let's call it a month ago, we're at 4.4. We're now 4.2. So not bad. Europe was green. The US markets were red, actually. US markets were red. Okay, it makes sense now. Why the rest? Euro dollar 1.15. Okay. Good enough. I mean, good enough. Could have been better, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after the market decides to after AMD decides to release their figures. Let's go back to that question real quick. PE wise, yeah, 786 PE. Again, they do manage to grow their earnings quite rapidly. I mean, they basically doubled. Of course, if the stock continues to go up and up and up, and the company does not have time to catch up, yes, of course, that's going to be an issue. But I mean, this company just continues to grow and accelerate growth while margins are not coming down. And that's something quite special. But yes, if there is one bad quarter that will happen, although I don't see any signs of that happening, stock could take a huge hit, for sure. But PE for Palantir right now is not really something I would focus my energy on today. Applied Digital close at 14. Yeah, up 6.7%.
Oh wow, nice. Where's Roberto? Is he here?
But we're getting to that previous stop right now. We'll see if it holds.
Roberto, show up.
He's busy buying houses in Florida. If anyone before us has numbers for Zeta, Open Door, AMD, SMCI, do let us know in the comment section, and then we'll go and check that very quickly. SMCI did close out the day down 1.5, ANET 1.8. AMD, yeah, I think it's going to be something like that. If not, maybe a bit sooner. SMCI out in a minute. It's either in a minute or 12 months from now. I guess with them, we never know.
Is that a joke, Neil? Oh man.
Of course, it's a joke because they were late with their filings last year.
All right, let's see what we got here.
I think earnings. I think I have. Do I have it? No, I don't have it. I thought I had it.
What earnings?
AMD's, but I did not. Oh. Let's see. By the way, thank you everyone for joining the live stream.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it. We
do this often.
Yeah, we do this almost every day. So if you are one of the people that are new here, we will be back tomorrow 8 a.m. for Uber, Shopify, Oscar, Walt Disney, Novo Nordisk. Hectic day tomorrow.
Yeah. And Neil and I both have channels, so feel free to follow us both. On the links, you'll find both our channels where we cover semiconductors, big tech. Neil covers a little bit more than I, but we definitely
big tech, small tech, no tech.
No tech.
Apparently, Zeta is up, so maybe they reported. Let's see. Zeta Global. Yeah, Zeta is up 3-4.
SMCI reported at least net sales. SMCI sees net sales of 33 billion versus the estimated of 30 billion for 2026.
Let's pull up Super Micro.
But the stock is down 9% right now. Let's see SMCI investor relations. What we got there.
Is it Q4? It's Q4.
Yes, Q4.
Okay, let's pull this up. It is Q4. So in the meantime, before we get AMD, we can look at the others here. So net sales 5.8 versus 4.6. Wait, what? Net sales of 5.8 versus 4.6 last quarter.
Yeah,
And 5.4
5.4 a year.
Q4.
Mhm.
Okay. What was the guided number, did you say?
I didn't. I only guided number I saw online was just on for the full year for 2026.
No,
So for the full year of 2026, yeah,
they do guide in their previous. Let's see.
yeah. Let me take a closer look, see if I can pull it up really quick.
Okay, they expect 5.6 to 6.4. 5.6 to 6.4. Okay, 5.8. A bit lower. A bit lower than the
for
midpoint.
quarter four, last quarter, they expected about 5.6 to 6.4 billion dollars. So it seems like they're closer to that bottom range.
Yeah. Margins still suck. Gross margin 9.5%. This is the reason why we stay away. Like people ask us, SMCI, Dell, even though Dell margins are a bit better than this because of the other parts of their business. But I mean, gross margin here, 9.5% is really nothing to be like, wow, amazed about. Net income, 195. Cash flow provided by operations, 864 million. Let's see. Fiscal year summary, $22 billion versus 15 same period last year. What did they initially expect to generate this year? Do you remember the number? Was it closer to 26 billion or something like that?
Yeah, I forgot. They cut it down a nice amount throughout the AMD reported.
Throughout the last couple of quarters, yeah.
Yeah, they kept kind of revising. Let's see. AMD stock itself right now hasn't really made too much of a movement. It's up about 0.3%.
Who was here with the fake news? I see nothing on AMD's website.
Yeah, I don't see anything on AMD's website either.
So who here is with the fake news? Open Door is down 18%.
Open is closed.
Yeah, I guess they closed the door.
Yeah, so someone pulled the AMD back on Supermicro. Neil, quarter four earnings were 41 cents. The Wall Street was expecting about 44 cents, so they did miss on earnings, and revenue was that 5.8 billion, where Wall Street was expecting closer to 6 billion. So they did miss there. And for the guidance of quarter one, they missed on earnings per share for quarter one guidance, and for revenue, it's falling a little bit short at the midpoint versus estimates. So yeah, not.
And
I mean, they're still showing growth, but not what the Wall Street expected.
wasn't this number 40 billion? Remember
That's
when they
what
came out and they said like 2-3 quarters ago, we expect fiscal 26 to be $40 billion?
Is that what they said for? Was it for fiscal year of 2026? I forget. They always changing numbers around.
I think that was it. Let's see. Super Micro 2026 guidance.
So Open Door, Neil, they did beat on sales by about 100 million, 1.6 billion versus 1.5 estimate. They missed on earnings per share by a loss of a penny, negative 4 cents versus loss of a 3 cents. But they did beat on EBITDA by about 5 million.
Okay, that was the most important, I think.
Yeah, EBITDA was 23 million versus 18 million.
Yeah, because that was also the first quarter in 3 years that EBITDA is, yeah, here they say it here. We delivered $1.6 billion in revenue in the second quarter and achieved our first quarter of adjusted EBITDA profitability since 2022, even as housing market conditions continue to deteriorate. So you said they beat on revenue, but missed on EPS by just a penny.
Yeah, by just a penny.
Okay, so maybe
but they'd be on that EBITDA number by a few million.
Yeah, but I guess guidance is again a loss here, not just at EBITDA, and maybe that's why the market is not happy with that one. Because I mean, it's great that you have one quarter where your adjusted EBITDA is positive, but if the next one is back into into a loss, then what's the point? What's the point? Inventory balance 1.5 billion, representing 4,538 homes. That's also down. Inventory has to come down, so that's fine. We are building on that foundation by expanding our agent-led distribution platform. Wow. Okay, this is a significant evolution in how we operate, allowing us to serve many more sellers and capture capital light revenue. Okay, but revenue for Q3 is also down. Yeah, but that's expected. That's something that they told us.
Astera Labs is a AI semiconductor company that was ripping. It's up about 10% after hours right now, sitting at $150. Pretty wild.
Let's quickly have a look here at Zeta. Is it Q1 for Zeta? Let's see. It is not Q1. It is not Q1. So I guess stock is up, but based on nothing.
Yeah.
Muy bien.
Someone posted on your probably not on you, but I did see some Zeta on Twitter.
Okay.
Astera Labs and ANET are both up 10%. Nice.
Yeah. ANET is up here to 131. ALAB is 149 right now. Open Door is recovering. Yeah, someone say it is recovering. AMD is not out yet. AMD is not out yet, which is why it gives us time to look at something else.
AMD is still not out. If anything, maybe in 2 minutes.
It's either 2 or 7.
Yeah.
It's either 2 or 7. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. So far so good. Astera Labs crushed it. I didn't know this was such a popular stock, but apparently it is.
Which one?
Astera Labs.
Oh, yeah, very popular in the AI space right now.
Snap cooked. I just saw the comment in the chat. Snap cooked. Yeah, they got cooked. Maybe stock is down 15%. Snap cooked. The only people that made money with Snap are the Snap employees with their absurd stock-based compensation. I've never seen anything like this. Like for the last, I don't know how many years, the only people that made money were the guys that getting paid inside of Snap, because the public market got screwed. The stock, look at this. The stock here is no, not you.
But the filters.
Since 2017, the stock is down 65%. Now more, because it's down even more. And from the highs in 2021, over 90%. Crazy.
Come on, I'm just freaking refreshing this AMD page.
Let's see. Zeta did report. Now I'm seeing some numbers. Let's see. Stock is up 5%. We do have here Sam on X with a nice little recap. So revenue a beat, and that's up 35%. Adjusted EBITDA. I mean, people think that, oh, because Zeta did pump in a very very short period, that it is a pump and dump, but it's a
All right,
very very
AMD's out.
solid business.
If you go to
Is
their
it?
website, so they did 7.7 billion in revenue. So
Easy
that was
peasy.
a beat. And then let's just look at. Let me just pull up guidance really quick. Guidance is meeting expectations, 8.7 billion, plus or minus 300.
8.7.
Yeah, which I think is what was the market expecting. I did do
We
a
did we
post
did
earlier.
look.
8.3, so a huge beat. The market was expecting
Yeah,
about
that's why I said
8.3.
8.7 sounds
Yeah,
quite.
and they even said it, Neil. This 8.7 does not include any revenue for the MI308. Even though the license applications are currently under review. So that's 8.7 without any China potential revenue.
All right, so
I haven't seen stock price yet, but I do think just based on those numbers, things look pretty good.
I just checked, but maybe my Google is broken again, but the stock didn't move.
Yeah, and stock hasn't moved either.
AMD is going down apparently. I don't know if you
It's
guys
up.
are playing with me, but
It's up 2% right now.
ah, some people here need to
They
be
were waiting
banned.
for us to say if we thought it was good or not, and then the market.
Yeah. All right. So, Dr. Lisa Su, we deliver strong revenue growth in the second quarter, led by record server and PC processor sales. So the server business is doing very well for AMD actually for the last couple of quarters.
Yeah,
We are seeing
demolishing.
robust demand across our computing and AI product portfolio and are well positioned to deliver significant growth in the second half of the year. Very nice. Driven by the ramp of our AMD MI350 series accelerators and ongoing EPYC and Ryzen processor share gains. We achieved 32% year over year revenue growth and generated record free cash flow for the quarter, reflecting our disciplined execution. So, do we actually have? Well, I'll ask my daily question here. Do we actually have a presentation we can work with, or do we have to wait until the? No, we actually have. Thank God
No, we
for
should have it.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Haha, they're not hiring the same interns as the other guys. Okay, I like presentations much more than slides than just press releases. All right. So this is the usual product portfolio that they show. Okay, we've seen that time and time again. Large growth opportunities, data center, client and gaming, and then embedded. I mean, when you look at it, they have everything they need to become a $1 trillion business in the future. Like the product portfolio is very, very good today. After all of the acquisitions that they've been making, ZT System, Pensando, Xilinx, and then the smaller AI startups there as well. They've completed the acquisition of ZT System. They've of course divested from the manufacturing side of the business, which is something that they've said from the start. So revenue 7.7 billion. They guided for 7.4. The market initially 3 months ago thought it would be 7.2. So very, very good. Very, very good beat for overall revenue. Gross margin 40%, non-GAAP 43, but here you get
They mentioned if
yeah,
without China, it would have been 54%. So
correct.
it would have been up. Yeah.
Would have been up, and it was a beat when they announced that. Here, operating income declined on a GAAP basis. On a non-GAAP was 900 million. Here as well, the decline is due to the inventory and related charges associated with U.S. exports control restrictions. Diluted earnings per share, 54 cents on a GAAP, 48 on a non-GAAP. GAAP EPS is up significantly year over year, primarily driven by higher revenue and income tax benefit, partially offset by inventory and related charges. So, of course, moving forward, things should be looking much, much better from that standpoint. All in all, revenue is up 3% quarter over quarter. Gross profit is down quarter over quarter, but year over year, we are still doing well. other than the fact that we're getting hit with those one time charges. As for the segments, so data center up 14% year over year, but down 12% quarter over quarter. Huh.
That's
Interesting.
because of the MI308. I don't think it's
Still
the write down. Yeah.
for net. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. For the. Yeah. I mean, it's a business
Come
that
on,
doesn't
Neil.
exist. It's a business that doesn't exist, basically.
Yeah, that's the main reason we have
Client and gaming doing exceptionally well. You might think,
mhm.
oh, gaming, but this is probably mostly client. So that's up 69%. Very nice. Year over year and 23% quarter over quarter. Operating income there, of course, also doing extremely well. Embedded is flat quarter over quarter, but down 4% year over year. So still some headwinds there, but that should turn around in the back half of the year, as they told us before.
And you know what, Neil? I think sometimes, obviously, there's algorithm playing. These fluctuations because of the China revenue is going to create a lot of volatility on the stock. And someone's asking, are these the actual earnings? Yes, I don't think
Now we
we
made
made
this.
this PowerPoint. We made this PowerPoint presentation just for you. Um,
we,
but I do think a lot of it's like people are gonna be like, oh, look, data center is up in revenue, but earnings per share sucks. And that could definitely be a headline, but a lot of people are going to be ignoring the reason being was because of the China export restriction laws.
it's AI generated. In our spare time, we like to just make fake earnings presentations. But yeah, no, these are the real earnings that AMD just released a
Yeah.
couple of minutes ago. Um, Gaming is significant part. It's not as significant as you would think.
Mhm.
Gaming side of it, not as significant. So yeah, so data center, yeah, of course, taking a hit here due to inventory and related charges because of the US exports. Client, okay, so gaming was 1.1 billion, client 2.5 for a quarter. I like that they still tell us which is which.
Mhm. I wonder eventually they're going to stop though.
I mean,
If
why
they can
would?
do this, why can't they do this with the MI300 with the AI accelerators,
Yeah,
AI CPUs, AI GPUs?
I guess because they know that the impact is
So- Yeah.
much bigger here. But
So stock seems to be going down, Neil. But like, I mean, everything I'm seeing right now is a long-term investors. Nothing that I would be
stock will move
complaining
during the
about.
call
Yeah.
more. Um, Stock will move more.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a comment from X here. Hello. If you guys made this presentation, you would have doubled the and now you're talking. Ken knows what's up.
Ken, but
Ken,
Ken's on X. That's even wilder. That's a
yeah,
we got some X views.
would have had embedded up 100%. Data center, we already launched actually the MI400. Haha, screw you guys, and then bam, sold the pump.
Yeah.
No, but gaming up 500 million year over year, client up a billion.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I also wonder, Neil,
underrated.
how much is gaming? Because I eventually they started to put their system, that like their PS5s and all those others, into the gaming markets. I wish, obviously,
The semi-custom,
a
yeah.
lot of breakdowns, but then it's like the semi-custom versus the actual GPUs. Because you're seeing a lot of handheld devices come out with the AMD APUs on their platform. So seeing
Yeah.
3% down, we're seeing 5% down.
I mean, the implied volatility was 7.5. So until we've reached that,
Mhm.
nothing is certain here. So embedded still the same. We're not really moving that much. But as you can see, this is a very, very profitable business
Yeah,
for them. I mean, still 33% operating margin in a business that's struggling. So
yeah.
going back to 40 when things get better, that's
Even
when the
much higher
fun.
than that,
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
when the fun starts for sure. Ken here says he coming from X. Someone has to help Elon pay the
You know,
bills. Whatever he got. That is true. That is true. It's impressive gaming is up because last quarter Nvidia released their new gaming GPUs, but gaming is up not quarter. I didn't say. I don't think I said quarter over quarter. It's year over year. It's Q2 24 to Q2 25, but maybe it's also up quarter over quarter. We'll have a look in a bit on fiscal because they'll have the numbers up pretty soon. 26 is of course a big year for AMD. So non-GAAP guidance 8.7 billion, which is a beat.
yeah. And this is most likely sandbagging us again. And they even mentioned it does not include MI 308 shipments. This can easily be a 9 billion quarter for them.
I mean, I
expect it to be.
I guess that's why they give us here a plus or minus 300 minus $300 million cushion. Yeah. Gross margin still
but
the same.
They tend to give us that kind of cushion normally. I think it's always very around that range of cushion that they give.
300?
How much did they give last one?
Yeah. Let's see. Because Nvidia is also something, or maybe it's Nvidia is with a billion. No, million. Let's see. Last quarter we got.
I like this. Rate it as a report based on just the presentation. Obviously, it can change with the earnings call, but based on the presentation, F2, A plus. What would you give this? I would say at least a B. I don't think there was anything that. It's definitely above average, in my opinion. I mean, we saw it be in strong revenue growth, strong guidance. So just right off the bat, at least above average. Now I would have to kind of listen to the earnings call to see if it was a B, B plus, A, or A plus, but at least above average right off the bat for me.
What is a B plus in European terms? Let's see. B, very good. B plus, 81 to 90%. Aha. Okay. Yeah, okay. I agree. B plus is good. Yeah, B plus. 81
just
to 90%.
On this, and then it could go higher with earnings call and what we hear from Lisa Su.
Yeah. And I think that's when the moves will be made. Because I'm pretty sure that 3 analysts will ask it for guidance.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I'm happy with the numbers. I mean, I'm very happy with the revenue beat, huge beat.
Yeah.
I mean, beat by 300 million. That's not bad.
And here,
growing 32% year over year, data center. So I guess now we can start speculating, right? The data center being up 14% year over year means that maybe they did not recognize that much of the MI350 for the quarter, or I mean, barely anything. Seeing the guidance for next quarter, ramp up should be going well, because that was 8.7. Market was expecting what, 8.4?
Yeah, 8.3, closer to 8.3. I think it was like 8.2 something.
So, and that's without China. So
yeah, and I do believe analysts are already adding China back into it.
Yeah, and we are going to cover the earnings call. It's not happening yet. It's in 30 minutes, I think. Yeah. See webcast.
I mean, regardless, I do like those guidance a lot. I
minutes.
really do. I think guidance was insane.
Yeah, no, guidance. I mean,
because just the aspect of not having the MI308, and what was the MI308 this quarter was, in theory, was supposed to be, I think, what did they say, 700 million last quarter and 800 million this quarter. So if you kind of continue with that trend, even give it half or 500 million a quarter, you're saying now revenue is really closer to like 9.5 billion or so. So yeah.
Yes, I guess. Don't say it's a moment in time. Don't say. I guess 2 things in the call. One, comments on China, even if they cannot give us a clear answer. I think analysts would like to hear what they think about the China business going forward, and then
Yeah,
two,
like give us
it's
a
the
even give us like a range of possibility. Oh, 70% we believe we're gonna get approval rates, but we're still kind of a little bit conservative. So maybe just like that, or if any of their licenses have been approved already, would be pretty good to hear.
yeah. Um, yeah, any color on that is good. I see some comments here. This stock is not Nvidia. It doesn't need to be. That's the thing.
Nope, doesn't need to be.
We don't expect this to be the next Nvidia. We expect this to be a very good company that will be worth more in the future. Plain and simple. I don't think that anyone in chat, or Jose and myself especially, we think that this is a $4 trillion company.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. We think it could be a $500 billion company in the making and potentially $1 trillion in the future.
Yeah.
But we're not saying that this is Nvidia. This is just a very good company.
So right now stock is down about 5% in the 165s, Neil. So down about $8.82. Some people are saying that Lisa's usually a little conservative on the call, and that can create even more of a negative sentiment. Um, Very true. Lisa's not one to kind of pump her chest or anything into something like this, but like we saw Palantir CEO yesterday. But I would love to hear like just more commentary.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more, and we're at that 20-day. We're at that 20-day moving average. I mean, basically another $2 or so for AMD. Let me just maybe do this. Live. Voilà.
Boom, boom, boom.
Voilà, much better. As for the rest, quick. Yeah, Arista Network going up very nicely. ALAP, same, still going up.
Supermicro. Did you see Supermicro?
Open
I heard it's
doors,
down like
down
15%.
Supermicro. I mean, it makes sense, no? It makes sense when you
Yeah.
come out 3 quarters ago and you tell us that that guidance for the full year is first of all 26 billion. Now you're coming in at 22. Then you also told us that fiscal year 26 is 40 billion, and you're coming in at, what did I say? A number much lower, basically. A number much lower than $40 billion. And so I'm not surprised. And it's not like your margins are doing well. They're not doing well at all, actually. So let me actually pull it up again to make sure what the full year.
I do think right now one thing that's spooking analysts or Wall Street for AMD is just those gross margins, because they don't know how to. They see those numbers and it kind of scares off whatever kind of
that it
crazy
isn't going up.
algos there are. Yeah. And it's like, yo, how's data center up revenue, but operating margins is on the negative. And I think while investors read this, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we start to get price target upgrades on AMD.
Even more than before?
Yeah.
And by the way, guidance for fiscal is 33 billion for SMCI. So $7 billion difference. Not million, billion. $7 billion difference.
For some reason, I feel like you don't like Supermicro. I don't know why.
No, I mean, they play a crucial part, but stop making up numbers. Like,
yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool the whole market 1,000 times, screw you. Rivian is down a little bit. Snap
This is V Jamming asking, aren't they raising their prices? So these have been reports. Obviously, hasn't been confirmed by AMD. I'm hoping there's some confirmation here. I hope some analyst goes, hey, look, we've heard some reports on price increase for the MI355. Can you provide some commentary towards that?
You know what the answer is going to be. We're confident in our product portfolio. We see strong demand and blah, 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 blah. The usual. The usual. Snap is down a tremendous amount. And here, yeah, $251 million in SBC. 251 million in SBC, and free cash flow was 23 million. So, yeah. When you look at the ticker symbol SNAP on X, and then you suddenly get explore communities, some weird communities popping up there with Snap in their names. Some weird stuff. Weird stuff. But this is wild. This is Snap post earnings.
That's wild. Holy smokes.
This is crazy. Like, who Rivian, real quick, just checking on the Rivian. Let's see if we got some numbers. Top line beat, bottom line miss. Didn't know they had a bottom line, but okay. Still a loss. Okay. What do the open door folks tell us? No partnering with agents. This was known. Okay. This is what we get here. I check for open door, explore communities. What do we get? Open swinger lifestyle. I'm telling you, this platform is crazy. And Snap is the same. Snap is the same. The only people on Snap are OnlyFans actors. I had to use a fancy word for it. But yeah, going back, let me pull up AMD again.
Manuel is asking, does the chat think July pool rally will continue tomorrow? I mean, we're in August, Manuel. I don't know.
We are in August. That is correct. We are in August. You have any maybe some CNBC folks?
Oh yes, let's pull up some CNBC talking about
the AMDs.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just pull this. Let me look. In the meantime, look at some stuff, Neil, because it might take me a while to find the right clip.
No problem. I mean, if we're being honest here, AMD is back to prices not seen since Friday. So it's not that bad. Like we might be down, but we're down. We go back three trading days, basically.
Yeah.
Just saying algorithm advertise. No, but this is not advertising, or these are communities. These are communities that pop up based on your search term. Don't try and think that I look weird stuff up on the X.
It doesn't seem like they have too much coverage on the AMD right now, Neo.
We suck at telling our audience what is happening. I mean, we have been live for about an hour and we have covered 5 earnings in the meantime and went over the whole AMD presentation. I think we did a good job. I think we did a good job.
Right, Neo. All right, so let's share screen and let's look at some CNBC here.
The earnings per share for AMD came in light at 48 cents adjusted, the first miss since November 2022, specifically for EPS. But revenues did grow 32% year over year, driven by data center revenue and client revenue. Both of those categories falling in line with estimates. I should point out that revenue for the quarter came in at $7.7 billion. CEO Lisa Su saying, quote, they are still well positioned to deliver significant growth in the second half of the year, driven by the ramp of our AMD Instinct MI350 series accelerators, which is just the next AI iteration for their GPUs. Gross margins for the quarter coming in at 43%. Keep in mind they were impacted by U.S. government restrictions on ships to China. For their outlook, Q3, they expect margins to increase to 54%, which is in line with estimates. Q3 revenue coming in at $8.7 billion. And I think that is the reason why you're seeing shares marginally higher, because the whisper number I was seeing in some buy-side reports was $8.5 billion. But a lot will be riding on the second half demand of the next core GPU chips that they're launching. John?
All right. Yeah, so we want to hear as much from Lisa Su as possible. Christina, thanks. Speaking of, coming up tomorrow on Squawk on the Street, AMD CEO Lisa Su.
We might listen to this then.
9 a.m. Eastern.
Well, coming up right here on Overtime.
So, too long didn't watch for the people that don't watch the whole stream. Very good reports. Some unknowns because of the China uncertainty, but even with that guidance beat, overall business still doing very well. The call has not happened yet. Crucial details will be mentioned during the earnings call, hopefully. Stock is back to prices not seen since Friday, which is 3 trading days ago, including today.
Yeah.
Voila.
I mean, yeah, AMD. I mean, guidance was a B. I think that's still the thing you only care about right now. Guidance. Guidance was a nice B, and we saw even from a CNBC host there that whisper numbers were closer to 8.5 billion. Yet the company did 8.7, not including China market. I thought the report was good. I just want to hear more thoughts on pricing. Would be important. What are they seeing? Based on the press release, we did see that they expect second half to still be robust growth, I think was the adjective they used. So that's mainly driven by the MI350. And then I would love to hear maybe some customer stories if they have any, or any big wins. The big one we always hear about is Oracle.
Significant growth.
Significant growth in the second half, driven by their AMD Instinct MI350 and the ongoing processor share gain of both EPYC and Ryzen. So both for server and CPU, they continue to expect market share gains.
We have a question quickly. Super chat. Thank you for that. Chillaxing. Any opinion on Arista Network up about 10%? So revenue increased 30% for Arista, 10% sequentially. Margins are expanding, and cash generation is doing very well. EPS, a nice beat there as well of 71 cents. Let me actually maybe pull up a slide real quick, or their own slides for Arista. Lisa Su is bearish. Where is it? Well, that's a very strange old school website that they have.
Short it.
Yeah, for real.
What intern did this website?
Yeah, what? This looks like even Intel looks better. So revenue increased 10% sequentially, 30% year over year. Gross profit margin 65.2% compared to 63.7% last quarter and 64.9% same quarter last year. So yeah, I mean this company is doing very well. Very well all in all. Not surprised that the stock is up 10%. Next quarter, they expect $2.25 billion in revenue, non-GAAP gross margin of approximately 64%, which means that it's down quarter over quarter. I guess there is a reason.
Back to AMD. AMD's pulling back up. It's like 3.6 loss right now, opposed to like the 5 drop that it had a few minutes ago. Did Snap really do good? No, definitely not.
Snap? No. Snap stock got snapped in almost
it's
half.
Wild. Yeah. 15% down right now. It's crazy. All-time highs was at $80.
Yeah, I mean, this is a company that doesn't care about shareholders at all. Because some key figures did do well for them, but other than that, meh. Our meme play here, or my meme play, Open is closed for business. It's down, yeah, almost 20%. Almost 20%. Figma keeps dropping. Okay, very good. We still have a long way to go with this one.
That's wild. Yeah.
Still have
So
a
we beat guidance and stock goes down. Let me tell you, AMD is only down because analysts are concerned about the gross margins. Lisa Su needs to come and say why.
I mean, the 54%, you mean? That,
Yeah, I mean,
you would assume maybe that it would increase. Like, actually, let me pull it up.
they talked a little bit about it, that it was definitely due to that. Yeah, excluding these charges, non-GAAP gross margins would have been 54%, which would have been a year-over-year gain.
Yeah, but maybe 54 for even for guidance.
I wonder what. Yeah, okay.
Let's see.
But 54 is already on the top range of AMD. I mean, how much higher?
No, that's the thing. Maybe market thinks it should go higher.
Market is down.
Where is it? Here it is. So, since we can compare it to an NVIDIA, this is free cash flow margin. Right? When NVIDIA started to make moves, this is what has happened with free cash flow margin. For AMD, we have seen it go up as well, but we've not seen it yet explode like NVIDIA. Same with gross profit margin. Very good trend. Very good trend.
Even this quarter would have been 50. Yeah,
but you see, you're not seeing this.
that
You're not seeing that NVIDIA type of move, which makes sense because NVIDIA back then grew 80% quarter on quarter, I think. So the market
and I don't
is
think
waiting.
you should expect. I don't.
No, not yet. I don't think
yeah.
not yet. I do think that maybe in 2026 it could happen to reach like 60% margins for AMD. I don't think it should be an issue. Higher pricing.
Yeah, and I agree with the others. I mean, I don't expect it to go. Would not have that. I think that those margins, even for some AMD like Nvidia bulls, is pretty high. I mean, I think even the low 70s and AMD kind of having that consecutive growth there. It's possible we get into the high 50s, maybe even the low 60s, but I don't see us ever entering into the 70s.
No, that's why I said 60s is.
Yeah, and with that curve like thing is what you're more looking for, right, Neil? More that curve.
I do
slope
think that
opposed to the
once we
actual
get
numbers.
a higher mix of MI350, then of course eventually there's the MI400, which I do think margin-wise could be much, much better, but that's something then for...
And the great thing with the MI400, right? It's the MI400. One of the other reasons NVIDIA also has these margins is because of the server system, right? The full system where you're selling your DPUs, your networking solutions, you're selling your CPU and GPUs. The MI400 is going to be the first kind of real platform that's going to be able to do that, where they're going to sell their Pensando DPUs, they're going to sell their AMD Epic CPUs, and their AI accelerator GPUs. So you could definitely see a nice margin boost with the MI400 system.
Plus, there is this 10x, up to 10x more performance from the most advanced frontier models, making the MI400 the highest performing accelerator. And yeah, like you said, it's the Helios rack, which is available in 26, next-gen Epic Venice CPUs, MI400 GPUs, and Pensando Volcano AI NICs with ROCm 7. The question here is when 26, right? Because I think back half 26.
Yeah, back half 26. For at least a solution. And that's the weird thing you have to think about also with the supply chain, right? It's the chip itself, it comes out supposedly, the MI400 comes out in late 2026. Historically, that's what the second half. But how long will it take for them to kind of work with their supply players to get this server up and running? Right. We see kind of like the Blackwell came out a few quarters ago, but only now are you seeing kind of the actual NVL72 and all those servers actually shipping. So it's definitely that supply chain wait time is something to consider with AMD for sure. But long term, I think that AMD that Helios is going to be a huge revenue booster for AMD.
Ruthless Wisdom. Are you guys playing AMD's earnings score, or do we all have to leave chat when it starts?
Neil, but now people are wondering if this is OpenAI's call. I'm not Open Doors call, so you had to put we will cover AMD's call when it goes live. So I blame you.
Yeah, okay. We will cover AMD's call. Voilà. Maybe now.
No.
now it's clear. We will cover AMD's call when it goes live. In the meantime, we can accumulate. Indeed. Yeah. In the meantime, we can accumulate. Let's see if we got.
Hold on, be right back, Neil.
BRB. No problem. In the meantime, let's see what we've got. We still have 8 minutes until the earnings call starts. If that wasn't clear, actually, maybe. Let me pull this up. Voila. Good enough. And this. Okay, much better. Actually, if it goes down, I'll buy enough. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not even down much. That's the thing. We're not down much. We were here Friday, so I am running a poll. AMD after the call will end up green, red, or flat. So if you haven't voted yet, do vote. But yeah, don't overreact. The stock is back to prices not seen since Friday. Numbers were very good, actually. We're just waiting for commentary. AMD numbers will disappoint? No, they don't. They didn't disappoint. That's the thing. They were actually pretty good. AMD did report. The call did not happen yet. So AMD did report. This is basically the summary. Maybe I'll just leave this up. This is basically it. Good quarter, a beat. Guidance was also a beat, quite comfortably actually, even without the MI380s shipment to China. So maybe it was priced to perfection. A lot of it was baked in. Maybe you could say that. We did get suspiciously quite a lot of analyst upgrades in the recent weeks. Maybe that's why. But yeah, all in all. Also, by the way, a trick, not really a trick, but first look at the earnings report, make up your mind, and then look at the stock. Don't look at the stock and then make up your mind based on the stock's reaction. Because then if the stock is up and then you look at the numbers, even if the numbers aren't great, you're going to say, it's a good quarter. But if the stock is down and the numbers are good, you're going to say, bad report. But yeah, all in all, very good report, actually. Much better than expected. And then now we just wait for the crucial comments during the earnings call.
At least we trust. Yeah, I mean, we looked at it over a few times before we even saw the price action. I thought earnings were great. I was just looking on X, and it's crazy to me that even some analysts are saying, "Oh, we were expecting so much more from the data center due to the inference space." I think it's wild that you expect much growth from a product that's just ramping up right now, from a market where most likely the MI400 is going to be the real story here. So it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Wait, analysts said that they were expecting more?
Yeah, some analysts of some tech firm was saying they were expecting more from AMD's data center due to this inference inflection point. But it's like the MI355 just came out this quarter, it's ramping up. MI300 was okay, but it really, it's not much of a competitive landscape where we're at right now. They lost the Chinese market. You're not going to see much revenue growth, at least for this quarter.
I mean, this whole inference, whatever, just that.
Yeah,
people
it's
have
like the same people pushing that AMD is solely using an inference solution for Meta. Like that's
Yeah.
I still hear that so many times. But let's see. We have Ari here with a CEO like Lisa Su. I'm not scared. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we've seen Lisa do really well with the CPU business. Continue to do well. I do think so too, Shiro. I think especially a lot of FinTwit analysts are like this.
Yeah, no, exactly what I want to say about the whole inference thing. I don't know why this story has like caught fire that AMD is the king of inference now, and Nvidia doesn't exist in inference, and Meta only uses AMD chips. I'm like, who makes up these imaginary stories? Like, I wish this was true, but it's not.
Very true. We don't need to hype the price on eggs when we want to buy.
I guess this might also be. I mean, again, there is an explanation for this, right? The data center.
What is this? Yeah.
Data center revenue coming down two consecutive quarters, while the market is seeing huge growth, while Nvidia is seeing huge growth. Why is this happening? Well, they explained why this is happening. Mm-hmm. It's happening because of the MI308. Now, if we do see a flip of the switch here next quarter, which maybe they'll tell us in the earnings call, I think it could be a big reversal.
And I mean, Lisa Su has always, even prior to the loss of China market, Lisa Su always said the first half was not going to be that great for AMD. She said it. She's been saying that. So then she said that, and then you lost the China market. You shouldn't be expecting too much. Now, even without those expectations, they still provided some great numbers, and they gave some great guidance. Yeah. Supposedly, I was telling this imaginary story last year. I don't think so, but I mean, the great thing about YouTube videos is you can go back and look at it. But some people just have such small minds and they think imaginary stories about imaginary stories.
We have, so this is the gaming segment, which surprisingly has been, I mean, doing very well. Quarter over quarter, so Roberto was right. Huge growth here. Quarter over quarter for gaming, only gaming for AMD. So not bad on that side of things. Client is still doing very well. Client is up 67% also this quarter. So again, that's a $2.5 billion, so a $10 billion business yearly for them, the client side of the business. Embedded is still struggling, as we can see right here, although plateauing. Hopefully we can see some tailwinds pretty soon and get back to maybe $1 billion just generated from that. But yeah, I guess the fact that data center, despite it being up year over year, only 14%, maybe they were expecting more. But then again, next quarter, $8.7 billion in revenue. They reported $7.7 billion, which means that next quarter they're expecting to generate $1 billion extra.
So Neil, call should be on right now. 5:01. I think we might have lost the music, hopefully. And Schmidt was asking, what website are we using? Fiscal.ai. You should see a link on either of our channels if you want 15% off. It's definitely one of the best platforms out there.
They can be found on the investor relations page of AMD.com.
Before we stop talking, we will share our thoughts after the earnings call is over.
And slides posted on our website. Participants in today's conference call are Dr. Lisa Su, our Chair and Chief Executive Officer, and Jean Hu, our Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Treasurer. This is a live call and will be replayed via webcast on our website. Before we begin, I would like to note that Jean Hu, Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Treasurer, will present at Citi's 2025 Global TMT Conference on Wednesday, September 3rd. And Forrest Norrod, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Data Center Solutions Business Unit, will present at the Goldman Sachs Communacopia and Technology Conference on Monday, September 8th. Today's discussion contains forward-looking statements based on our current beliefs, assumptions, and expectations, speaks only as of today, and as such involves risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from our current expectations. Please refer to the cautionary statement in our press release for more information on factors that could cause actual results to differ materially. With that, I will hand the call over to Lisa.
Thank you, Matt, and good afternoon to all those listening today. We delivered very strong second quarter results, with revenue exceeding the midpoint of guidance as higher EPYC and Ryzen processor sales more than offset headwinds from export controls that impacted Instinct sales. We set records for both EPYC and Ryzen CPU sales, reflecting the broad-based demand for our differentiated high-performance data center, PC, and embedded processors. Second quarter revenue increased 32% year over year to a record $7.7 billion, and we delivered over $1 billion in free cash flow. Excluding the $800 million inventory write-down related to data center AI export controls, gross margin was 54%, marking our sixth consecutive quarter of year-over-year margin expansion led by a richer product mix. Turning to the segments, data center segment revenue increased 14% year-over-year to $3.2 billion. We saw robust demand across our EPYC portfolio to power cloud and enterprise workloads, and increasingly for emerging AI use cases. In particular, adoption of agentic AI is creating additional demand for general-purpose compute infrastructure, as customers quickly realize that each token generated by a GPU triggers multiple CPU-intensive tasks. Against this backdrop, 5th-gen EPYC Turin shipments ramped significantly, and we had sustained demand for our prior generation EPYC processors. As a result, we set records for both cloud and enterprise CPU sales and delivered our 33rd consecutive quarter of year-over-year share gains. In cloud, adoption expanded with the largest hyperscalers as they deployed EPYC to power more of their mission-critical infrastructure, services, and public cloud products. More than 100 new AMD-powered cloud instances launched in the quarter, including multiple Turin instances from Google and Oracle Cloud that deliver up to twice the performance of our previous generation, which were already the industry's highest-performing offerings. There are now nearly 1,200 EPYC cloud instances available globally as providers continue expanding both the breadth and regional availability of their AMD offerings. This continued expansion is accelerating enterprise adoption of EPYC in the cloud, with deployments growing significantly from the prior quarter as we closed large wins with dozens of large aerospace, streaming, financial services, retail, and energy companies. EPYC adoption also grew with telecom customers as providers modernize their infrastructure for next-generation networks. For example, KDDI announced plans to deploy EPYC processors to power its 5G virtualized network. And Nokia selected EPYC for its cloud platform used by service providers to build, deploy, and manage core network functions. Turning to enterprise on-prem adoption, HPE, Dell, Lenovo, and Supermicro launched 28 new Turin platforms in the quarter that deliver leadership performance, efficiency, and TCO across a wide range of enterprise workloads. EPYC enterprise deployments grew significantly from the prior quarter, supported by new wins with large technology, automotive, manufacturing, financial services, and public sector customers. To extend our momentum with SMB and hosted IT service customers, we launched the EPYC 4005 series that combine enterprise-grade performance and features in cost-optimized platforms purpose-built for smaller-scale deployments. Turning to HPC, AMD now powers more than one-third of the world's fastest supercomputers, including El Capitan and Frontier, which retain the number 1 and number 2 spots on the latest Top 500 list. We also power 12 of the top 20 systems on the Green 500, highlighting the performance per watt advantages of EPYC and Instinct for large-scale deployments. Looking ahead, we remain bullish on our server CPU business, driven by durable tailwinds, including growing demand for cloud and on-prem compute, sustained share gains, and the growing investments in general-purpose infrastructure required to enable AI. Turning to our data center AI business, revenue declined year over year as U.S. export restrictions effectively eliminated MI308 sales to China, and we began transitioning to our next-generation MI350 series accelerators. We made solid progress with MI300 and MI325 in the quarter, closing new wins and expanding adoption with Tier 1 customers, next-generation AI cloud providers, and end users. Today, 7 of the top 10 model builders and AI companies use Instinct, underscoring the performance and TCO advantages of our data center AI solutions. We launched our Instinct MI350 series with industry-leading memory bandwidth and capacity and broad adoption across hyperscalers, AI companies, and OEMs. From a competitive standpoint, MI355 matches or exceeds B200 in critical training and inference workloads and delivers comparable performance to GB200 for key workloads at significantly lower cost and complexity. For at-scale inferencing, MI355 delivers up to 40% more tokens per dollar, providing leadership performance and clear TCO advantages. With the MI350 series, we're also expanding our system-level capabilities to support deployments powered by AMD CPUs, GPUs, and NICs. As one example, Oracle is building a 27,000-plus node AI cluster, combining MI355X accelerators, 5th-gen EPYC Turin CPUs, and Pollara 400 SmartNICs. We began volume production of the MI350 series ahead of schedule in June and expect a steep production ramp in the second half of the year to support large-scale production deployments with multiple customers. Our sovereign AI engagements accelerated in the quarter as governments around the world adopt AMD technology to build secure AI infrastructure and advance their economies. As one example, we announced a multi-billion-dollar collaboration with Humane to build AI infrastructure powered entirely on AMD CPUs, GPUs, and software. Initial deployments are underway in key regions, with quarterly expansions planned over the coming years. In addition, we have more than 40 active engagements globally and see significant opportunities to power an increasingly larger portion of national computing centers and sovereign AI initiatives. On the AI software front, we made significant progress this quarter, increasing the performance, improving the usability, and expanding the adoption of ROCm. We announced ROCm 7 with major upgrades across every layer of the stack, delivering more than 3x higher inferencing and training performance compared to our prior generation, and adding support for large-scale training, distributed inference, and lower precision data types. To deepen developer engagement, we introduced nightly ROCm builds and expanded access to Instinct compute infrastructure, including launching our first developer cloud that provides pre-configured containers for instant access to AMD GPUs. We also expanded native support for ROCm across key frameworks, including VLLM and SGLang, enabling frontier models like Llama 4, Gemma 3, and DeepSeek R1 to launch with day zero AMD support. To accelerate enterprise adoption, we introduced ROCm Enterprise AI, a full-stack platform that integrates seamlessly with existing IT infrastructure and includes everything needed for an enterprise to deploy, manage, and scale AI across their business. Looking ahead, the development of our next-generation MI400 series is progressing rapidly. These are the most advanced GPUs we have ever built, with up to 40 petaflops of FP4 AI performance and 50% more memory bandwidth, and scale-out throughput than the competition. With the MI400 series, we're bringing together everything we've learned across silicon, software, and systems to deliver Helios, a full-stack rack-scale AI platform. Helios is purpose-built for the most demanding AI workloads, with each rack connecting up to 72 GPUs that can operate as a single massive AI accelerator. Helios is expected to deliver up to a 10x generational performance increase for the most advanced frontier models, and we believe it will be the highest performance AI system in the world when it launches. MI400 series development is progressing well towards our planned launch in 2026, with significant interest in large-scale deployments from multiple high-profile customers. To accelerate our development, we have invested significantly to expand our AI software and hardware capabilities, both organically and inorganically, with a number of acquisitions and strategic investments. We strengthened our software stack last quarter with the addition of the Brium and Lemoni teams, building on our acquisitions of Nod.ai, Mipsology, and Silo AI. On the hardware side, we added a world-class rack and data center scale design team in the second quarter with our acquisition of ZT Systems. The ZT team is integrated seamlessly, and they are actively engaging with multiple customers to accelerate deployments of our Helios solutions at scale. We also announced last quarter that Sanmina intends to acquire ZT's US-based manufacturing business, becoming our lead partner for AI rack manufacturing. Turning to the AI regulatory environment, earlier this quarter, we were notified by the Department of Commerce that it is moving forward with the review of our license applications to export MI308 to China. We appreciate the focus the Trump administration is placing on ensuring that the U.S. technology remains central to global AI infrastructure, and we expect to resume MI308 shipments as licenses are approved, subject to end customer demand and supply chain readiness. As our licenses are still under review, we are not including any MI308 revenue in our third quarter guidance. Despite that, we expect Instinct revenue to grow year over year in the third quarter, driven by the ramp of MI350 at multiple customers. In client and gaming, segment revenue increased 69% year over year to $3.6 billion, driven by record client CPU sales and strong demand for our semi-custom game console SoCs and Radeon GPUs. Client revenue increased 67% year over year to $2.5 billion, led by record desktop CPU sales. Demand for our latest generation Ryzen 9000 series was strong, especially for our differentiated X3D processors. We delivered record desktop channel CPU sales as Ryzen processors consistently topped the best-selling CPU lists at major global e-tailers throughout the quarter. We also expanded our Zen 5 desktop portfolio with the launch of our latest Threadripper processors that feature up to 96 cores and deliver up to double the performance of the competition in many popular content creation and design workloads. In mobile, demand for AMD-powered notebooks was strong, with sellout growing by a large double-digit percentage year over year. We drove a richer mix of higher ASP mobile parts year over year as we expanded our share in the premium notebook segment, where our Ryzen AI 300 CPUs deliver leadership performance and value for both general-purpose and AI workloads. In commercial PCs, Ryzen adoption accelerated as OEM consumption increased more than 25% year over year. We saw strong sell-through for AMD commercial notebooks with Lenovo and HP, and a significant uptick in Dell sales as they ramp availability of their AMD commercial portfolio. We also closed new enterprise wins with Forbes 2000 pharma, tech, automotive, financial services, aerospace, and healthcare companies. We expect to continue growing our commercial client share based on the strength of our product portfolio and expanded breadth of OEM offerings. Looking more broadly, we remain confident we can continue growing client processor revenue ahead of the market over the coming quarters, driven by increased adoption of our desktop and notebook products, growing commercial momentum, and a richer product mix. In gaming, revenue increased 73% year over year to $1.1 billion. Semi-custom revenue increased by a large double-digit percentage year over year as console inventories normalized and our customers began preparing for the holiday season. We announced a new multi-year collaboration with Microsoft for custom chips that will power the next generation of Xbox devices, including consoles, PCs, and handhelds. We also deepened our collaboration with Sony through Project Amethyst, a co-engineering program that will use machine learning to power the next wave of immersive gaming experiences. In PC gaming, demand for our latest generation Radeon 9000 series GPUs was very strong, with desktop GPU sell-through accelerating in the quarter as demand outpaced supply. We launched the Radeon 9600 XT, extending the performance advantages of RDNA 4 to mainstream gamers and delivering a significant uplift in gaming performance, including more than double the ray tracing of our prior generation. As part of our end-to-end AI strategy, we introduced the Radeon AI Pro R9700 GPU for local inferencing, model fine-tuning, and other data-intensive workloads. The R9700 features more memory, full ROCm support, and multi-GPU scalability, enabling advanced AI development and deployment directly on the desktop. Turning to our embedded segment, revenue decreased 4% year over year to $824 million. Demand continues recovering gradually, with sell-through in the second quarter picking up as strength in most markets was offset by a few pockets of softness and inventory reduction actions, largely with industrial customers. We expanded our embedded portfolio with the first production shipments of Spartan UltraScale Plus FPGAs that deliver leadership performance and advanced security for cost-sensitive low-power applications. Adoption of our Versal adaptive SoCs continues expanding in high-end applications, including next-generation robotaxi platforms developed by Bosch in Europe, where Versal serves as a high-performance controller enabling real-time processing, security, and encryption in fully electric automated vehicles. Looking ahead, we expect improving demand in the test and measurement, communications, and aerospace markets will drive a return to sequential growth in the second half of 2025. Longer-term, design win momentum continues to build, tracking ahead of this point last year, and putting us on pace to surpass the record $14 billion in design wins we achieved in 2024. In summary, demand is very strong across our product portfolio, and we are well positioned to deliver significant growth in the second half of the year, led by the steep ramp of MI350 series accelerators and ongoing EPYC and Ryzen share gains. Our server and PC CPU businesses are accelerating, driven by growing demand for high-performance compute, sustained share gains, the strength of our product portfolio, and expanded go-to-market investments. Our embedded and gaming businesses are returning to growth and are well positioned for long-term success, supported by strong design win momentum. And in AI, we are seeing strong adoption of our MI350 series and ROCm 7 as we deliver leadership performance and TCO advantages across a broader range of workloads and ramp deployments with an expanded set of cloud and enterprise customers. Looking ahead, we see a clear path to scaling our AI business to tens of billions of dollars in annual revenue. We are very excited about our next generation MI400 series, which is another giant step forward on our roadmap and has been designed to deliver leadership performance at the chip, server, and rack levels. Customer interest for the MI400 series is very strong, and we are actively engaging with an expanding set of customers to support large-scale deployments in 2026. We are in the early stages of an industry-wide AI transformation that will drive a step function increase in compute demand across all of our markets, positioning us for significant revenue and earnings growth over the coming years. Now I'd like to turn the call over to Jean to provide some additional color on our second quarter results. Jean?
Thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. I'll start with a review of our financial results and then provide our outlook for the third quarter of fiscal 2025. We're pleased with our strong second quarter financial results. We delivered a record revenue of $7.7 billion, exceeding the middle point of our guidance, up 32% year-over-year, reflecting strong momentum across our business. Record sales of Ryzen and EPYC processors and higher semi-customer shipment more than offset the impact of the U.S. export controls, restricting MI308 sales to China. Revenue increased 3% sequentially due to strong growth in the client and gaming segment, partially offset by the data center revenue decrease due to export controls. Gross margin was 43%, down 10 points from 53% a year ago. The decrease was due to the $800 million inventory and related charges associated with the export restrictions. Excluding this charge, non-GAAP gross margin would have been approximately 54%. Operating expenses were approximately $2.4 billion, an increase of 32% year-over-year, as we continue to invest aggressively in go-to-market activities for revenue growth and in R&D to capitalize on significant future AI expansion opportunities. Operating income was $897 million, representing a 12% operating margin compared to $1.3 billion, or 22% a year ago. The decline was primarily due to the inventory and the related charges. Taxes, interest expense, and other totaled $126 million. For the second quarter of 2025, diluted earnings per share were 48 cents compared to 69 cents a year ago. The inventory and the related charges reduced earnings per share by approximately 43 cents. Now turning to our reportable segment, starting with the data center. Data center segment revenue was $3.2 billion, up 14% year-over-year, driven by strong EPYC CPU revenue and share gains across both cloud and enterprise customers. On a sequential basis, data center revenue decreased 12% due to the impact of the export controls on MI308. The data center segment operating loss was $155 million, compared to operating income of $743 million a year ago, or 26% of revenue. The loss was primarily due to the inventory and related charges. Client and gaming segment revenue was $3.6 billion, up 69% year-over-year and 20% sequentially, driven by record client CPU sales and strong demand for our PC and console gaming products. In the client business, revenue was a record of $2.5 billion, up 67% year-over-year, driven by record sales of our Ryzen desktop CPUs and a richer product mix. Gaming revenue rose to $1.1 billion, up 73% year-over-year, reflecting strong demand for our newly launched gaming GPUs and higher semi-customer revenue as inventory has now normalized and customers prepare for the holiday season. Client and gaming segment operating income was $767 million, or 21% of revenue, compared to $166 million, or 8% a year ago, driven by richer client product mix and operating leverage on higher revenue. Embedded segment revenue was $824 million, down 4% year-over-year and flat sequentially, as embedded end market demand remains mixed. Embedded segment operating income was $275 million, or 33% of revenue, compared to $345 million, or 40% a year ago. The decline in operating income was primarily due to product mix. Before I review the balance sheet and the cash flow, as a reminder, we closed the acquisition of ZT Systems early in the second quarter, as we had announced our intent to divest the ZT manufacturing business. The financial results of the ZT manufacturing business are reported separately in our financial statement as discontinued operations and are excluded from our non-GAAP financials. Subsequently, in May, we entered into agreement with the Sanmina Corporation to sell the ZT manufacturing business for $3 billion in cash and stock, inclusive of contingent payment. The transaction is expected to close near the end of 2025, subject to regulatory approvals and the customary closing conditions. Turning to the balance sheet and the cash flow. During the quarter, we generated $1.5 billion in cash from operating activities of continuing operations, and the free cash flow was a record of $1.2 billion. We returned $478 million to shareholders through share repurchase, resulting in $1.2 billion in share repurchases for the first half of 2025. In May, our board of directors approved an additional $6 billion authorization. Exiting the quarter, we have $9.5 billion remaining under our share repurchase program. At the end of the quarter, cash equivalents, and short-term investment were $5.9 billion. Our long-term debt was $3.2 billion. During the quarter, we paid down $950 million of commercial paper used to finance the ZT System acquisition close. Now turning to our third quarter 2025 outlook. Please note that our third quarter outlook does not include any revenue from AMD Instinct MI308 shipment to China, as our license applications are currently under review by U.S. government. For the third quarter of 2025, we expect revenue to be approximately $8.7 billion, plus or minus $300 million. The midpoint of our guidance represents approximately 28% year-over-year revenue growth, driven by strong double-digit growth in our client and gaming and the data center segments. Sequentially, we expect revenue to grow by approximately 13%, driven by strong double-digit growth in the data center segment with the ramp of our AMD Instinct MI350 series GPU products. Modest growth in our client gaming segment, with the client revenue increasing and the gaming revenue to be flattish, and our embedded segment revenue to return to growth. In addition, we expect third quarter non-GAAP gross margin to be approximately 54%, and we expect non-GAAP operating expenses to be approximately $2.55 billion. We expect net interest and other expenses to be a gain of approximately $10 million. We expect our non-GAAP effective tax rate to be 13%, and diluted share count is expected to be approximately 1.63 billion shares. In closing, we executed very well in the first half of the year, delivering record revenue and building strong momentum for growth in the second half. The strategic investment we are making positions us to capitalize on the expanding AI opportunities across all our end markets, driving sustainable long-term revenue growth and earnings expansion for compelling value creation. With that, I'll turn it back to Matt for the Q&A session.
Operator, will you please poll the audience for questions? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Matt. We will now be conducting a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate that your line is in the queue. You may press star 2 to remove yourself from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up the handset before pressing the star keys. We ask that you please limit yourself to one question and one follow-up. Thank you. One moment, please, while we poll for questions. And the first question comes from the line of Thomas O'Malley with Barclays. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, thank you for taking my questions, and I appreciate it. Lisa, I wanted to start on the client business. So you had previously laid out a second half outlook that was roughly flattish with the first half, as you were kind of protecting against some pull forward. So first, do you think that your Q2 results included some pull forwards and the second half should still be flattish? And longer term, after the Intel commentary regarding 18A, maybe what that means as a knee-jerk reaction just right away for AMD longer term in terms of share and ASPs?
Sure, Tom. Thanks for the question. So first of all, our client and gaming segment, and particularly our client business, just performed very well in the first half of the year. I think if you look at the entire first half, it was up 68% year over year. I think if you look underneath that, what we're seeing is strength in every part of our client business. So we saw very strong sales in our desktop channel area. We have a leadership product there, best gaming GPUs with our X3D GPUs. We've had strong Ryzen AI adoption as well in the first half of the year. We see that in sell-through. And in addition, we've had strong enterprise sell-through as we brought that forward. So to your question of how much is pulled forward, we don't think a whole lot of that is. We actually, when we look at the sell-through patterns, the end user consumption is actually quite strong for client. In terms of going into the second half of the year, as we said in our Q3 guide, the primary driver of our Q3 guide is a very strong data center driven by MI350 ramping. We are expecting some growth in the client business, so I wouldn't say it'll be flat to the first half, but it will be. We're planning for it to be a little bit less than seasonal. Just given some of the uncertainties out there. But the client business is performing extremely well for us. We believe we are gaining share in all the right places. So if you look at the numbers in the first quarter, and it'll show through in the second quarter as well, a lot of the uplift in revenue is in ASPs. And that is basically, we're selling up the stack on the strength of our portfolio. And I think we're still quite underrepresented in the enterprise portion of the business. That is where we have increased our go-to-market resources and focus, and we're seeing nice traction there, especially with the portfolios that we have from HP and Lenovo in enterprise PCs, and now we're adding Dell as well as it's ramping here, started in the second quarter. We'll ramp more in the second half of the year. So I think all of those are tailwinds for our client business, beyond the second half of 25, but really into the next number of quarters as we think about the portfolio and the opportunities for us.
Super helpful. And then secondly, I was hopeful you could provide us a little more color on China. So the guide doesn't include MI308, but perhaps you could comment on when you get approval, if the supply chain's ready, what's currently in inventory, and maybe compare what you think the contribution will look like versus the $700 million in Q2 and the $800 million for the second half you spoke about in April.
Sure, Tom. So let me answer some of the questions on China. I'm sure that there are some questions. Look, we're very pleased with the progress that's been made with the administration over the last couple of months. We've been working very closely with the administration. I think the focus here on ensuring that U.S. technology gets utilized throughout the world is something that we certainly support and very much want to contribute to. China is an important market for us. Given the timing of licenses, we have a number of licenses that are under review now. We are working with the Department of Commerce to get those reviewed. We do expect that once those licenses are approved, we will start MI308 shipments. In terms of the supply chain, most of our inventory was not in finished goods, so it was work in process, and it'll take us a couple quarters to run through that. The exact timing of revenue and contribution will depend a bit on when the licenses are actually granted. But overall, I think this is a better position than we were 90 days ago, and we certainly view China as a market that we would like to service with MI308. And we're working closely with the administration to do that.
And the next question comes from the line of Vivek Arya with Bank of America Securities. Please proceed with your question.
Thank you for taking my question. Lisa, if we look into 2026, right, that's when I think the sovereign opportunity could get quite meaningful for AMD. What is the right way to size that? What does this JV structure mean with some of the contracts that you have signed? And would you consider this incremental to the kind of growth rate that you're seeing with your current MI business, or would this be instead of? So just if you could give us a way to size what is that incremental opportunity from sovereign customers when it comes to 26, right? Is it dependent on MI400, right? In which case it might be more backup dated, et cetera. So just some ways to think about sovereign for AMD next year.
Yeah, absolutely, Vivek. Thanks for the question. So look, we're we're really excited about the overall, AI opportunity for us with MI355 and the MI400 series as we go through the back half of this year and into 2026. I think it's there's a very large opportunity with, let's call it, hyperscalers, some of the leading AI companies, as well as sovereign. I think sovereign is additive to that for sure. From the standpoint of what to expect, there are also some regulatory things that need to be worked through on the sovereign side. But again, we're working closely with the administration as they go through the various regulatory decisions that need to be made. But from my perspective, I think the fact that countries want their own sovereign computing capability is very, very clear. I think we see that all over the world. The humane opportunity that you're referring to that we announced with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I think is a great example of where, together with their ambitions, our technology, I think you heard from Tarek, he was at our event saying that would start with MI355, that we would expect that would continue on. I think what's attractive about our offering is our open ecosystem, and I think that really resonates with the sovereign community. But to your original question, I think it's an additive opportunity, and it's one that we believe will continue to be very important for us going forward with both MI355 as well as the MI400 series.
Got it. And for my follow-up, I wanted to ask about gross margins for your MI product. So I understand in the early days, right, it has been dilutive. What kind of sales level is required for it to start becoming, additive to margins? And let's say if I fast forward to Q4 and assume that, your Q4 sales are growing year on year, roughly the same rate as Q3 sales, should we expect gross margins to kind of stay at these Q3 levels, or are there other plus minus drivers we should think about in terms of gross margins as you go into Q4? Thank you.
Yeah, Vivek, thank you for the question. The gross margin of our MI product, we said it's a little bit below corporate average. I think at this point, our priority is really to address the larger, faster-growing revenue opportunities we have and provide customers a better TCO to really expand our presence in the marketplace. I think the way to think about our gross margin, there are different dynamics, right? Different customers, different generations, but also our operation team has been continuing to really drive operational efficiency to improve our MI family's gross margin. That has been ongoing. So it's not necessarily really tied to, the revenue level each quarter, but you should think about it as a trend in the longer term. It should improve continually going forward. Overall, the way I think about it is gross margin dollars, right? This is one of the fastest growing market opportunities for any financial metrics. Gross margin dollars is what we try to grab as much as we can. Hopefully that helped your question.
And the next question comes from the line of Timothy Arcuri with UBS. Please proceed with your question.
Thanks a lot. Lisa, so my question is on data center GPU. You did say that June is up year over year, so it sounds like it's maybe a little more than $1 billion. And you use words like strong ramp into the back half of the year. Can you give us just any color on what that means? Can you get to, say, $7 billion for the year? And can you give us some maybe milepost on what you're assuming for Q3 would be great.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, for the question. I think what we said in the prepared remarks is that we are seeing a strong ramp from Q2 into Q3. MI355, we actually started production in June, so we had some shipments, in the month of June, but it really is ramping as we go through this quarter and the third quarter. So, in terms of guideposts, we said it would grow year on year from last year, and that I think is a strong ramp. And then we would expect it to grow into the fourth quarter as well. The demand, I should say, what we're seeing from customers is I think really positive around MI355. Sort of the way I would contrast it with maybe the MI300 ramp. I think MI300 started with perhaps some smaller deployments. I think what we're seeing with MI355 is very competitive versus the B200, GB200 family of products. I think there's a strong desire to really use us at scale. The MI355 is very strong for inferencing. We're also working with a number of customers on training, and this is also an opportunity for us to build into the MI400 series as we go into 2026. So we're bullish on MI355 and where the AI opportunity is for us, and I think we're right on track to what we expected to be as we were going through the development of the roadmap.
Thanks a lot. And then Lisa, just on that point also, you did talk about a new developer cloud. So obviously you're beginning to lease back some of the capacity that you're selling into the clouds and the neo clouds. Is that going to be a material portion of the revenue you're going to recognize for MI355 in the back half of the year? Can you just talk about that and maybe how to think about how much demand that's going to stimulate and what the ultimate goal is for that cloud? Thanks.
Yeah, so there are a couple of things in that question, so let me answer. So the developer cloud is simply we want to make it super easy for developers to get on AMD Instinct GPUs. One could say, again, if we look back at the MI300 family, we were very focused on the largest hyperscalers and the largest customers, but there's a lot of interest in our GPUs, across a number of customers who just wanted easier access. And so by ensuring that, developer cloud is there, that it has, ready to deploy containers, you can run training and inference easily. You don't necessarily have to make, longer term commitments. I think that's the purpose of the developer cloud. I don't think it adds meaningfully to revenue in the second half of the year, but it certainly adds to customers getting experience with AMD. I think the larger revenue opportunities for us are really with large customer adoption as they ramp to larger deployments, and we're very actively trying to get those deployments up and running as soon as possible. One of the things, just as a reminder, that the MI355 is, given that it's a similar infrastructure to MI300, we actually think it's going to ramp very quickly and very well for customers, and I think that's one of the attractive portions of it as well.
And the next question comes from the line of Ross Seymour with Deutsche Bank. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, thanks for letting me ask a question. Lisa, I want to go back to the Instinct side of things and the MI355 ramp. It looks like the second half is going to ramp really significantly. You said it's going to be up year over year in the third quarter. I believe a quarter ago you said roughly the same thing, and the MI308 is out of both numbers, so that shouldn't really matter, and I guess it would be upside. But I've just wondered, how have things changed from a quarter ago as far as the MI350 family adoption, especially because you launched it a little bit early? Is the growth a little bit more than you would have expected a quarter ago, about the same, or a little worse? Just any sort of color on that would be helpful.
Yeah, Ross, thanks for the question. I think the main thing I would say is I think the adoption is a bit faster than we might have expected. Again, whenever you launch a product, we want to make sure that we go through the full validation and all of that with our customers. I think there's a lot of interest, broad-based interest in MI355, and so I feel like over the last 90 days, I think we've had significant sort of new customer interest, and that's certainly positive. I will say, I'm sorry, Ross. I was just going to add, our engagements are. I think the other piece is I think there's also a lot of excitement around MI400 and what we can do with the Helios rack, and so there are a number of customers who, based on sort of the strong roadmap that we're showing, want to get familiar and really work with us earlier in the life cycle, which I think is again positive.
Great, thank you for that. I guess as my follow-up, an earlier question you talked about a little bit below seasonality in the second half of the year for your client business. It seems like there's just, I don't even know if seasonality is a framework that matters, but how are you thinking about that for the second half as a whole for a client? And then gaming, which was just up a huge amount sequentially in the second quarter. You described a little bit of what you're expecting there, but how do you think about seasonality for the second half in its entirety in the gaming side as well?
Yeah, let me try, and then Jean might add if if you want a little bit more color. So the way to think about it is, we do expect some growth, sequential growth in client as we go into the third quarter. I would say, sort of, single digit, type growth. We continue to see good traction for our products and that portfolio. On the gaming side, I would call it flattish to Q2. And we're coming off of such a strong Q2 that I think flattish is actually to be expected. As we go into the fourth quarter, the dynamics that we would see is, we would see that the console business would actually be down substantially. So think about it as down strong double digits. The customers usually build for the holiday season in sort of before that, and then that will be completed by the fourth quarter. So we would expect, as the client and gaming segment, that the segment would probably be down in the fourth quarter. So hopefully that helps. Jean, did you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
And the next question comes from the line of Joshua Buchalter with TD Cowen. Please proceed with your question.
Hey guys, thank you for taking my question. I wanted to ask about lead times on the Instinct family, both for the MI350 group family and MI400. I mean, as you move into larger cluster sizes, which it sounds like you're doing at least with Oracle on 350, and then endeavor to do more so on 400. How much visibility and lead time do you need from your customers? Because I would imagine the lead time for your parts is measured in months, but on the infrastructure side, in particular for the larger scale deployments, I mean, those things are measured in years at this point. So maybe you could speak to the visibility specifically on the 400. Thank you.
Yes, sure, Josh. So yes, I mean, our lead times are long, given all of the processing steps that we have to go through. Think about it as somewhere between 8-9 months, that type of thing. We have a very, very strong supply chain. We've been preparing for these ramps of both MI350 series and MI400 series, and that preparation is ongoing. So we feel like we have a very strong supply chain there. In terms of visibility with customers, we're absolutely working with customers very closely on near term MI350 series deployments, getting those deployments up as quickly as possible. Again, one of the things about the MI350 series that is good is that it can go into existing data centers, given just given the platform that is in. So we have been certainly working with our customers there. And then for the MI400 series, there are lots and lots of details in sort of full rack scale design implementation, and we're actively working with the largest customers right now on just ensuring that our Helios rack is fully compatible with their data center build outs as we go into 2026. So that visibility is important. I think that co-development, co-engineering is important as we get into the rack scale architecture, and the ZT team that we've brought in has been extremely, extremely helpful in terms of both internal platform build out, as well as ensuring that we're working closely with our customers on their data center needs.
Thank you for that, Lisa. And maybe for Jean, I wanted to follow up on Vivek's question earlier on gross margins. So if we add back the charges in 2Q, and then your gross margin implied in the guidance is roughly flat sequentially, and that's despite what's implied to be data center GPUs up meaningfully sequentially. Like, it doesn't seem like consoles falling off in the third quarter. I mean, can you maybe talk to the underlying drivers of how you're able to keep the flat gross margins despite what sounds like still margin dilutive data center GPUs up significantly within the mix? Thank you.
Yeah, Josh, thanks for the question. Yeah, we are guiding our Q3 gross margin around 54%, and the Q2, you're right, excluding the $800 million charge, it was close to 54%. I think the gaming business actually is quite high, so the mix actually is unfavorable. But we do have some tailwinds we have been really driving. First is, we have been expanding our server business, which has a really nice gross margin. And on the client business side, we are expanding the commercial PC business that really helps us to drive the gross margin up. In addition, we do have a really strong operational team. They are driving the gross margin improvement just from operational efficiency perspective across the board. So overall, our objective is to continue to improve gross margin despite, MI350 very strong ramp in Q3. We are able to continue to drive the margin up.
And the next question comes from the line of Joe Moore with Morgan Stanley. Please proceed with your question.
Great, thank you. You've used this language before of the kind of tens of billions opportunity around MI400. Can you talk about, that the time frame when that might occur, and not to pin you down too much, but and what what would help you get to that level sooner rather than later? Should we think of that as a 2027 realistic outcome that you could be looking at 20 billion plus? Just a little bit more color on that tens of billions comment.
Yeah, I mean, maybe without being specific, Joe, I can give you sort of the way I look at it, and back to this notion of are we incrementally more confident? I think we're seeing a lot of positive signs in our AI customer adoption. I think the strength of the MI350 series, the very positive feedback that we're getting on MI400 from customers, the work that we're doing in terms of ensuring that we are fully ready for large-scale deployments of not just inference but training. I think when we get to tens of billions of dollars, we're talking about significant gigawatt scale type deployments, and those would be important for us to get there. And we're certainly, I think, engaged with all of the right customers that can enable that type of ramp. But I won't necessarily speculate on the exact time, other than to say, certainly that would be our set of aspirations.
Great, that's helpful. Thank you. And then as these workloads evolve, I mean, you've sort of talked about inference and training as sort of different opportunities for AMD. Are you seeing those start to come together? It seems like with inference, the reasoning models are requiring much higher complexity. Is rack scale more important to the inference market than you thought it might be? Just any color around how that complexity of inference is impacting you guys.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true, Joe. I think with the proliferation of models, I think what we're seeing is GPUs continue to be very sort of the computing of choice as you think about all the models that are out there, and then as you go into distributed inference and some of the newer techniques, we are seeing the importance of the scale up and the scale out architecture, which we are investing in. But I think the overarching thing is I think we have a very competitive roadmap across the next couple of generations. I think that has now gotten strong customer validation. We're getting a lot of feedback from customers on where they would like to see us continue to add more resources and add more focus, and so that is very helpful. And the key is to be a full scale solution provider for these large customer deployments, and that's what we're working on.
And the next question comes from the line of Aaron Rakers with Wells Fargo. Please proceed with your question.
Yeah, thanks for taking the question. I do have a follow-up as well. I guess the first question is, when we look at the data center guide, Jean, you alluded to double-digit sequential growth. Obviously, the MI355 series kind of ramping. I'm curious, how could we conceptualize what you're expecting in the server side, and where do you think your market share is today in traditional enterprise servers outside of cloud?
Yeah, I think when you look at our data center business, we do have a strong double-digit growth. Both server and MI, both sides are growing sequentially. Of course, MI ramp is the most significant one. As far as the server market share, we do think we continue to drive the market share up compared to Q1. It's not a third party has not published a report yet, but we feel really good about the Q2 market share increase versus Q1.
Aaron, if I just add to that, one of the things that it's important for people to understand is, in some of the cloud CapEx numbers that have come out that have been quite positive, that is not only a GPU statement, but there's actually significant CPU capex in there as well. We've started to see more robust forecasts going out a number of quarters on the server CPU side because all of that AI content really requires traditional CPUs as well. And so we're very bullish on the opportunity in servers. I think the team has really executed extremely well. I mean, if you look at our portfolio now, Turin, Genoa are very well adopted, broadening workloads. Enterprise adoption is also increasing, and so I think all of those are positive for the server opportunity in the second half of 25 as well as going into 26 and beyond.
Yeah. And then as a follow-up, I'm kind of thinking about the China, the MI308 opportunity. When we do see a license, I think you alluded to this earlier, it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of ramp and get the supply chain to satisfy the demand. But I'm curious, the $800 million, write-down that you had taken, is there no kind of finished inventory there? Does that come back? Do you have any reversal aspects of that once a license gets approved?
Let me start first, then Lisa can add. First, on the $800 million, majority of them are WIPs. We really don't have the on-the-shelf finished good we can ship immediately. So we do need to take time if we get a license.
Yeah, I think so.
And the next question comes from the line of C.J. Muse with Cantor Fitzgerald. Please proceed with your question.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. I guess Lisa was hoping you could level set us on the Instinct ramp into 2026. How are you thinking about the timing of the handoff 350 to 400? How are you thinking about Helios contributions? And I guess very importantly, from a customer contribution perspective, how you might see that evolve, from traditional hyperscalers to perhaps more sovereign and neo cloud within the mix.
Sure, CJ. So certainly as second half this year, it's all about MI355 ramp into first half of next year. I think the MI400 series development is right on track. The development of the Helios platform is also right on track. We would expect significant revenue contribution from Helios in 2026. And then relative to the contribution of the various things, hyperscalers, sort of some of the, versus neo clouds versus sovereign. I think it's a little early to really talk about the different pieces other than to say, you would expect that, hyperscalers and let's call it, neo clouds that would be working for other large AI natives, maybe significant pieces of the initial ramp. And then, sovereign may come a little bit later in time, just given, sort of the timing of when different build outs would happen. So hopefully that gives you some color, CJ.
Yeah, very helpful. And then Jean, I guess a question for you with the sale of ZT for $3 billion in cash and stock, and you only have $3 billion in debt outstanding. How are you thinking about the use of proceeds? Is there, saving for a rainy day or bolt-on acquisitions, perhaps more aggressive share buyback? How are you thinking about it today?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Our business model actually generates a lot of free cash flow. As you see in Q2, free cash flow generation was $1.2 billion. So if we close the ZT sale and we'll get more cash, overall our capital allocation principle continue to be the first thing is investing, especially with the tremendous AI opportunities ahead of us. And then we'll continue to return cash to shareholders. We did a $1.2 billion repurchase in the first half of the year. We are committed to continue to return cash to shareholders through share repurchase.
Operator, I think we have time for one more caller, please.
Okay. The final question comes from the line of Ben Reitzes with Melius Research. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, thanks for squeaking me in here. I wanted to clarify a little bit on the $1 billion increase in sequential sales. It would seem like it's coming from GPUs primarily. I was wondering if you could back that, and that's with nothing in China. And if the answer to the prior question that GPUs are over $1 billion, that kind of puts you at a $2 billion run rate. And was just wondering if that was accurate. in terms of thinking? And then I have just a very quick follow-up. Thanks.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for the question. If you look at the sequential revenue increase, as I mentioned during the prepared remarks, we see data center strong double-digit increase, which include both GPU and the CPU, but the GPU definitely drives largest incremental amount increase. We also mentioned the client actually is going to increase sequentially. In addition, the embedded business will return to sequential growth. So multiple businesses contributed to sequential increase, but the majority of increase is really driven by MI355 with this strong ramp.
Okay, great. And then if if indeed that gets you pretty close to a couple $1 billion, if the MI300 comes in, do you see it at the same run rate that you exited, and then you have the ability to get at that 800 mil run rate right away, or you think it'll take several quarters to ramp when you get the license? Thanks.
Yeah, Ben, it will take some time to ramp, just given, and particularly today. I mean, we're sitting already in early August, so I don't think you would see a lot of it in Q3. But certainly, as licenses would be approved, we would schedule that, and it would take a little while to ramp.
And ladies
All right, operator. Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody that joined the call today, and we just like to end the call now. Thank you.
Okay, that ending was a bit strange. Let me just remove this. Jose is away, so I will be closing. I will be closing the stream with closing remarks of my own. Okay, first of all, I did have to check this, and it's true. Free cash flow for the quarter was actually not bad at all. Let me actually pull it up real quick. Free cash flow for the quarter. Hey, where did it go? Here. 1.2, let's call it $1.2 billion. For the whole of the first half of last year, they generated 1.9. Now in one quarter, $1.18 billion. That's pretty good. And that's what it's all about. Free cash flow generation. But yeah, that ending, honestly, I didn't even understand the answer that was given. I'll have to go back and look at the transcript. Hopefully it's updated pretty soon. Because first of all, the stock is only down 3.3%, which is back to, again, the price that we have seen on Friday. Not such a big deal. But then again, it's after hours. Tomorrow, I do expect the stock to move maybe a little bit more than that. Because you have more volume, you have more buyers, more sellers. But all in all, quarter was still good. All in all, the quarter was still good. It's a beat on revenue. It's a beat for next quarter revenue as well. There's nothing including the MI308. Now we know why, because they feel this is going to take some time to ramp up. And so, okay, there is that. But on the other side, we have strength in the client segment. So that's good. Gaming has been doing very well. It seems that embedded, they are seeing, or they are expecting some strength from embedded towards the back half of this year. We know that embedded is a high margin business as well. So that's good. Unfortunately, again, we can forget about our AI revenue guidance. That wasn't given. Even the question about, can you actually tell us what that means, that tens of billions of dollars, right, from that business? Is it for 2027? After Helios gets launched, after that ramps up? The answer that we got there is, again, not that clear. Now, I did get the sense that the MI350 is well received. It's well received, but it seems like the MI400 is going to be such a better product from what I understood from Lisa, Dr. Lisa Su, sorry, I talk as if we are friends, that the MI400 is such a good product that some customers are, of course, engaging way more with the upcoming MI400 than the MI350. And I think that's the problem that they had since the start of the MI300 series, is that the next one is always going to be much, much better. And since they are moving quite rapidly, the ramp up is happening, but it might not reach like a huge, huge scale that we will probably get with the MI400. That's just the message that I received, that I got. Maybe I'm completely wrong here. It would also make a little bit more sense since the MI400 is a full rack solution. So value for money, it makes sense. Let's see if someone wrote something in chat that check out AMD announced deal with Arteris. Arteris. Is that the AIP? Is that the AIP stock? Yes, it's the AIP stock. It's from it's from yesterday. The one, the stock that the AIP stock that did pump today. But MI350, MI400 game changer. Yeah, no, it is definitely a game changer. It's definitely a game changer. I will wait a little bit. I will do a full recap video because obviously I don't think that people will watch a 2.5 hour long live stream to understand what went on with the quarter for AMD. So I'll do a recap video after the stream, but I first have to go back and look at the transcript because unfortunately, sometimes with these earnings calls, the answers and sometimes the questions as well, but especially the answers, it's not clear. It's not clear what they have to say. Like, I know that sometimes management cannot answer a question straight on because they do not want to reveal something or they do not want it to be the new guidance, right? That's why there is short guidance, revenue, margins, EPS, and that's about it. And then the comments during the call, it's usually very, very general, right? It's usually, yeah, we think we can go double digits here. We see sequential growth there. We see high single digit growth for this segment and that segment, right? You will never hear, it's not just AMD, it's all of the companies. You will never really hear a specific number given. Because if that was the case, then suddenly the whole guidance has changed here. Suddenly they will have to beat what they just told us. It's a shame, but it is what it is. So for this year, if that last analyst was correct, which maybe he was half correct, so if we are saying that the GPU business is a $2 billion run rate business, which brings us to just $8 billion for a year, that's not great. That's not great at all. Going into this year, analysts were expecting already, I think, $11 billion or so. Then that was revised down to $8.6 billion. So to only get $8 billion for this year, I don't think that's going to be great. But I don't think he's correct on that number based on the answer that we've got from Lisa and Jean. So would have loved to get a clear answer, but then they started to talk about the client side of the business and this and that, and I was like, come on, can you please just give us a clear-cut answer? But no, that didn't happen. They did talk again about the free cash flow side of the business. That's doing well. They will use it. Whoa, what has happened here? Oof. They will use it to invest in the business and then also buy back shares. They said they bought back $1.2 billion of shares in the first half of the year. So I expect buybacks to continue. Let's see. AMD missed the boat already. Can't even show $10 billion revenue at the height of AI boom when demand for AI accelerators wanes. I mean, you cannot... You understand that they are selling everything that they make other than what they cannot sell, which is the MI308. The business is doing well. They are, of course, not NVIDIA. That's, I think we can all admit, they're not NVIDIA. But if they could be selling more, they would be selling more. I don't think they have a problem selling anything. I think they're moving as fast as possible. And I do think that eventually they will be generating tens of billions of dollars for in the future. The question is when. The question is when, for sure. Bring back Jose. Jose is busy with his kid, so I guess priorities. Priorities. I highly doubt he will do this when we will cover Nvidia, but AMD, I guess AMD, his kid still gets priority over this. But let me check if we have something from the transcript. I don't think so. Stock is down 4%, which again, okay. Implied volatility was 7.5%, according to someone in the chat. So yeah, bottom line, they can't crack CUDA. CUDA is in a league of their own. They had issues with ROCm, for sure. I think we can admit the software side of the business was behind. I do think that in the last couple of quarters, I'd say a couple of months maybe, they've been improving quite well. You can hear that from people in the industry as well. And so they're not at the same level as CUDA. I don't think so. But ROCm is getting a very, very competitive. Very, very competitive. And again, once NVIDIA has that advantage that it already offers what AMD will offer next year, which is a full rack solution, which is something that, yes, maybe you might say AMD should have done it before. Shoulda, coulda, right? Intel should have figured out how to play the AI game. They didn't. They were too busy buying expensive stock and paying a dividend 6 years ago. Again, in hindsight, of course. So yeah, I think AMD is doing extremely well. Extremely well. They're doing what they should be doing. Again, if they were not doing well, I don't think this would have been a business worth $260 billion or so. Growing, what was the growth rate for this quarter? Already forgot, but let me pull it up. First of all, guidance for next quarter, very good. Beat the estimates. It's an extra $1 billion quarter on quarter, so that's 8.7. The summaries here. So this is a business that is still growing revenues 32% year on year. Gaming this quarter did very well. Embedded is still not doing what it should be doing. So that's another, I'd say, potential $500 million per quarter extra that could come once that side of the industry, the embedded side of the industry, does become better. Client still doing very well, right? We've seen the client business still doing very well, right? This is client and gaming segment up 69% year over year. So that's doing well. Operating margin there, 21% compared to 8% same quarter a year ago. So yeah, this, of course, this includes the inventory charges as well. So don't freak out when you see this. And yes, I've already seen actually, let me pull it up here as well. The chart, which we've pulled up before, right? A sequential decline in data center again. But you have to understand the story. It is because, one, the China business, which for AMD as a percent of overall revenue is bigger than NVIDIA. I've said it before and I'll say it again. China business for AMD as a percent of overall revenue is, now I've noticed that my volume might not be correct, is bigger than an NVIDIA. So not being able to sell to China is an issue. Is an issue that hopefully will get resolved pretty soon. Should get resolved pretty soon. Then you have the ramp up of the MI350. So again, if you're ramping up a new product, of course, it will take time until that new product starts to have a positive impact here on the business. But as we've seen, and we can actually look at the expected revenue from the market. Of course, these numbers will be probably revised by tomorrow or the next day. June. No, so this was a beat. So this is what we got right now, $7.7 billion. This is what the market expects AMD to report next quarter, $8.3 billion. AMD expects $8.7 billion. So that's a $400 million beat by AMD. And as we've seen this quarter, AMD beat those numbers quite comfortably. Could they beat the numbers again 3 months from now? I mean, I'd say yes. I'd say yes. What happens with the China revenue? We'll see. I don't think we'll see the impact all in one quarter. Will probably be spread out. But to say that AMD, especially now that maybe the stock is down a little bit, again the stock has doubled since April, so more than doubled actually. So let's not complain. Let's not complain about that, because the business is doing what it should be doing. Would I have loved to get more concrete answers during the call? 1,000%. I think we can all agree to that as well. We can say stock-wise has done very well in the last couple of months. Business-wise, quarter was very good. Guidance was very good. Commentary on the call was mixed. They did give us some good information, but there were also some things that, unfortunately, one, we did not understand from the call, and two, we just plainly did not get an answer. So, yeah. Overall, they did well. Overall, they did well. I know some people will freak out just because the stock is down $3, $4 or so. But, I think we have a transcript to work with. Let's see. I think we have a transcript to work with. If we do, you guys have to help me out here with the questions that I have to ask. Let's see. Okay, we have it. We have the transcript. We have the AI summary here, all available on fiscal.ai already. So the restrictions led to approximately $800 million inventory-related charges. We know this already. Excluding these charges, a gross margin would have been 54%. We knew that as well. The question we would want is, let's maybe comments on the back half of the year growth for, let's do this, not just for everything. Good is not good enough. Yeah, I mean, it was priced. A lot of it was priced in for sure. The numbers, again, a nice beat, a very nice beat. So am I buying the dip tomorrow? No. I mean, to me, this is nothing. 4.1%. Again, I've seen those prices Friday. So I'll start buying if we go back in the 140s. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's when I'll start DCAing again. So data center segment is, I should ask Fiscal to have like a slider here where we can zoom this in specifically. I think that would be good. The data center segment is expected to experience strong double-digit growth, again, fueled by the ramp-up of the MI350s. While the MI300 series started with smaller deployments, the MI355 is positioned to be competitive against the B200, GB200, driving large-scale adoption. The company anticipates a strong ramp in Q3 and continued growth into Q4. Server CPU demand is expected to be robust, driven by the general purpose infrastructure required to support AI workloads. The client business is expected to see some growth in Q3, although less than seasonal, due to uncertainties. The gaming segment projected to be flattish compared to Q2, which still means a good quarter because Q2 was an excellent quarter for the gaming side. As for embedded, that's expected to return to sequential growth. So that's good to know, especially since this is a high margin business. So overall, AMD is confident in its ability to deliver significant growth in the second half of the year, driven by strength across the product. So, okay, was there anything specific I needed to? I know I wanted to ask something, but whoever here in chat can point me to a question to ask, do write it in the chat. Still a B plus? Yeah, no, for sure. Still a B plus, for sure. I mean, the B plus that does give me quite a big a big range on a European scale. So yeah, still a B plus. Whereas Jose? Jose is with his kid, so don't think he will come back now, but we will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. To cover Uber, Shopify, Oscar, Novo Nordisk, Walt Disney. But we'll cover the reports real quick, but focus more on Uber tomorrow morning. Let's see. What did I think? Good earnings. Good earnings. Could it see 100 again? I highly doubt it unless the market pulls back significantly. Wait. What did they say about the China business? Recovering? Yeah, recovering maybe. Let's see if it understood what I said. Could have been an A- with Jensen on the mic. With Jensen last quarter, yes. With Jensen before that, no, because before NVIDIA had a mic from Timu. Horrible mic. I'll do a recap video later. I'm sure Jose will do the same because I know, again, 3-hour live stream. I highly doubt people will watch the whole thing here again. But any surprises? Yeah, to me, the gaming segment was up very, very significantly this quarter. What time do you start for Uber? We will be live at 8 a.m., which means most of the reports, 8 a.m. Eastern, most of the reports should be out, like Shopify, Uber, Novo, especially since it's European. But Shopify and Uber should be out by 8 a.m. already. Then the call starts. I think the call will start at 8 a.m. actually. But it's first going to be prepared remarks and etc. etc. So we will be on time for all of it. All right. Last couple of things here. US export control. What is this? Okay. They expect to resume once licenses are approved. Yes, okay. Most of AMD's inventory for the MI308 was a work in progress. Okay, it's not finished goods. It will take a couple of quarters to run through that inventory. Which makes sense now that it's not included in the guidance. Okay. Makes sense. And to answer our question from Jose and myself from the start, so the $800 million write-down is primarily related to the work in progress inventory, and there is no immediate reversal expected once licenses are approved. Despite the lack of that, Instinct revenue is expected to grow year over year in the third quarter, driven by the ramp up of. Okay, so that's fine. That gives me a little bit more understanding. I do have to go back to the end here and see what was said. If the answer to prior question, GPUs are over $2 billion run rate, no. I think this was the weird answer at the end. we see data center strong double-digit increase, which include both GPU and CPU. But the GPU definitely drives the largest incremental amount increase. Okay, so I mean, it makes sense for AMD in the data center business. You have GPUs and CPUs, so it would have been great if we do have a split in the report and they tell us exactly what the split is, but I guess that's maybe too much to ask. So all in all, don't freak out, just buy the stock's reaction. As you can see, we were here last Friday. Okay, we were here last Friday, and guess what? Look at this. I have to zoom out so much because this stock has gone up so much. In April, we were at $76. In June, we were at 120. End of July, we were at 150. So couldn't even care about this tiny pullback that I can't even see, that I have to zoom in here. So I'm happy with the report, no matter what the stock does tomorrow. If the implied volatility was 7.5, then yes, we can drop even lower, and that would mean that we would reach the 20-day moving average. If we drop lower, I would like to start buying again in the 140s. Low 140s would be better for me, for sure. Last couple of things. Can you do open doors somehow? I'll probably have some comments tomorrow in the live stream tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll do a specific video about that really quick. Do you play FIFA or NFS? I play FIFA. Although that game sucks. Sucked for many years now, since they turned it into a casino. But yeah, all in all, I do wonder if something did recover. Let's see. Last couple of things here. Open Door is down 23%. Arista Networks up 14. Very good report. Astera Labs up 14% as well. Who reported? SMCI down 15. Rivian is probably also down. Yeah, down 4.5, not by much. Lucid, I think, reported down 10% because they lost less money this quarter than they did last year. Which again, I guess is a positive thing for them. Hazard or Kevin De Bruyne? Pretty easy decision. Eden Hazard, the greatest of all time, in my opinion. All in all, do expect a earnings recap video coming from me probably in the next hour or so. And then we will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. European time, to cover Uber, Shopify, and all of the rest. So we will be back tomorrow morning. Thank you all for joining. Really appreciate it. I think it was one of the best streams that we've had so far. So keep it coming. Do expect to see you all tomorrow. So thank you again, and we'll see each other in less than 12 hours, or maybe in 12 hours.